What is going on, Summit? Welcome back to the Game of the Week streaming here on Summit Esports. I am X-Ray. Joining me today on the cast is the lovely Joan Glovely.
Always a pleasure to be here, and it's time for some esports. The Summit Esports Premier League Season 3, Savage Mongoose Dynasty versus the Krusty Trap. It's time to watch these teams go head to head.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Savage Mongoose Dynasty got the win last week, so they're looking to continue their win streak. The Krusty Trap hopefully coming back and trying to get a vengeance from their last week playing against Rob's Goblins, the current team that is in first place, sole possession, sitting at 6 points. So hopefully they can get back a win here, get some points, and start getting those points for the leaderboard.
Yeah, we'll have to see about what that mental game is going to be like because, whenever you pick up a win, maybe sometimes you get a little overconfident. But on the other hand, because you have that win, you have that morale boost going into the game. So we'll see whether that goes either way. Same thing to when you lose. Is that an opportunity to pick yourselves up and improve, a motivating factor, or is that going to make you lose faith in yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the team so far, the Krusty Trap, definitely still a little hesitant about how I feel about this team just because Space Dwellers and Godspeed, they're both silver players. So they're a lot weaker than, looking on the other side. You have Riven player and Nico. These two are two Masters players going into draft. TF, Misfortune, and Ash banned away.
A lot of strong pick champions, or at least those two very strong. Global pressure with those stuns, the enchanted crystal arrow and the yellow card mixed with the teleportation of destiny. One more band going to be coming out here from the Krusty Trap. What are they going to be locking in? It's going to be Rengar is going to be the next band. Blitzcrank immediately in response. That hook champion can really pull people out of position. Rengar is still an excellent assassin, maybe not as bursty as he used to be in the olden days. Gwen's going to be the
Ooh.
block off, and that's going to take a top lane, potentially mid or jungle ban out. Looks like we're going to go
This
for our
is
first pick.
This is pretty interesting. So the Rengar is a targeted band onto So Much Dog, Rengar One Trick. The Gwen band is a very interesting to me because I would have never I don't know who would pick it on SMD's team, but Riven Player 3, they didn't ban Riven, so the question is will he play Riven this game, or I would say so, going with the Seraphine pick here. Probably going to be piloted by um, Mr. Shrubby Turtle in the bot lane. Could be I can't remember his name changed, but the support for SMD. Don't know what his.
Oh, okay. Thresh is going to be picked up here on the other side of the lane. So two supports already picked up potentially for that bot lane. I suppose the Seraphine could go mid
Mhm.
technically. I've seen it go in other places, although usually those are players feeding my games. Kaisa looking like it's gonna be the next pick, probably a good pairing with that Thresh. Dark Passage allowing you to escape some pretty sticky situations as well as the crowd control.
Mhm. Yeah,
There we go.
Silva being picked up for, or Kaisa being picked up for Silva, and Thresh for Alturas. So this is going to be a really good bot lane. So this is probably one of the top three best bot lanes in Summit. So we will see how well they can pilot these and hopefully get a win against Shrubby Turtle and the other guy. I can't think of his name, but we're just gonna say Butts because that's what I remember him by. But I think he name changed.
Excellent. Morgana's going
Okay.
go ahead and be locked in here. Again, a very versatile champion.
Okay.
Probably going to go into that. Well, could go into that bottom lane, but I mean, we could see it mid. We could even see it jungle. Riven, there's the
There it
pickup left
is. There it
open.
is.
To be
Riven
fair,
player
you
three.
to be fair, you do leave yourself open to counter picks with strategies like this. That is the one downside of picking up your one trick, your favorite pocket picks early on, especially when they are those champions that do have a lot of answers to them. We'll see what ends up happening on the other side here with that champion being locked in, one of the four horsewomen of top lane, as they say. Looks like it's going to be the Ornn. Interesting pickup
Ornhorn.
here on the other side. The Ornn horn will sound today.
Let's go. I always love a good Orn. Orn into the Riven. It isn't too bad. It's just Orin's got to be very careful and take his fights. Uh, he can't like he can't take extended fights. He has to go for a short burst and then leave. So, but Riven does want those kind of extended fights. So we will see how Mr. Space Walrus KG faces off against Riven Player 3.
Ooh,
Nef-
Neferi ban. Okay, that's an interesting one. Gonna take away another assassin jungler. Nocturne gonna be the answer, so that's 3 assassin-based junglers gonna be taken off the field.
yep.
And then Jace going to be the pickup as well. Interesting there as well. Usually played in the top lane. I suppose you could play him mid, but I'm not sure that's something I would have
Nico
picked
has
off.
put a couple games on Jace mid, so
Well, I mean,
also
yeah,
kind
but
of a
you got the
combo.
Morgana, you got the Seraphine. Like, I think they've already got a mid lane, unless that's Morgana jungle. Unless they think that
It's
this is
it's
Morgana jungle.
it's Morgana support and Seraphine bot lane.
That's
That's
what I'm thinking. But I can't rule out the possibility Galio going to be the final ban here for that mid lane.
for the Captain Godspeed. Hopefully he's got some sort of pick to go into Nico. Most likely jungler going to be picked up here in the Wukong. So yeah, Wukong very good right now. Got a huge buff for him on with his Q range, level 1 and damage. So we'll see what Mr. OT Gator can do in the jungle.
I mean, does kind of play similarly into that assassin archetype that we can see getting banned away a whole bunch against him. But Wukong still going to have that stealth entry, still going to have that dash, still going to have a ton of damage. Graves is going to be the jungler on the other side, so that definitely isn't a Morgana jungle. That is going to be a Morgana support, most likely. One more pick here. Actually, I mean, it could be a bot lane with Seraphine Morgana. That would be interesting.
Yes, this would be an interesting pick. That would I don't know what probably oh
Ooh.
oh the
Oh,
Asol.
the David Bowie dragon. I am excited
Okay.
to see him. This champion is ridiculous, the amount of damage he can put up when he starts scaling. And that is really the question. Can you get your Aurelion Soul scaling? He is such a late game threat. It looks like they do have a lot of tools to protect him, though. The smoke screen, the binding, the black shield, Seraphine's shields and heals as well. So a lot of tools that are great for protecting that Aurelion Seal, but also a lot of them are very bursty. You can chew
Ooh.
through that. And Nico's going to be the answer on the other side. So unless that is an Aurelion Soul or a Graves bottom lane, I think it is going to be Morgana's Seraphine in
Yep.
that bottom side.
Yeah, right now I'm honestly like draft wise, I want to favor the side of the Krusty Trap just because it's like a really good team fight comp. But I will say SMD has a lot better players, I would say, on that side. So honestly, could go either way this game. It's just gonna be a amount of execution and how well these teams can face off against each other.
You know, I understand the idea of using rank and numbers to judge what a matchup is like. But also to me that kind of feels like when you try to introduce power levels into Dragon Ball, like the entire point of them is that it was pointless in order to judge the numbers, because what it's going to come down to is the fight. It's going to come down to the decisions they make as a team. And that's what I want to see today. I want to see smart decisions made as a team. I want to see them enable this Aurelion Soul because it can rip through some health bars if it's well protected.
Yeah, and I think that is gonna wrap up our pregame. We're gonna head it to a short break, and we'll be right back with the game.
Groups. So I'm really excited to see what our team has to offer and what sort of stuff we're going to be fielding this week.
Yeah, and speaking of offering, we already have access to the draft. Due to, of course, to some spectator things, we found a loophole because our production here at Summit Esports is awesome. So let's go ahead and pull up the draft. And as we take a quick snapshot, any standouts to you? Me personally, I'm seeing the Hui, and I have no Hui how to play that champion.
I actually seem to be experiencing a technical issue and don't have access to the screen.
That is
So this
okay. I'll
so
send
I'm
you
going to
it.
talk all about it as soon as we get into game because I know we don't have a ton of time to be talking about the draft.
Fair enough. We can go ahead and throw it to game. I already have the draft up. You can see here, we drafted an early Morgana MF combo for Summit Esports bot lane. The Var's first pick, a pretty interesting one, with a Nico Zac to follow suit for that blue side pick phase. Hui there again, the kind of highlighted champ in question here. Graves, Nautilus, they've been in cinematics before. Set, Jarvan, I think they're in cinematics, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be an exciting match, and we cannot
Any other
good
champion,
stomp.
great respond to
Finds
that.
the
It
punch,
left
goes for the W,
slingshot.
but here comes Graves up into the top lane. Smoke screen's gonna be devastating. Jarvan on the rotation. Morn trying to get there as soon as they actually can. DB for PP tries to break line of sight, but he gets blinded himself. Jarvan just on the reset because DB for PP walks out safely. Alterus in the bot lane now with the fancy feet. Confidently making sure they can't base with a good timer, trying to deny this base if they can. Don't find the W. There they go. They do deny Varus's base.
Binding used up there. Looks like the cooldowns are now going to come off. You have to watch on that Black Shield. It doesn't nullify Nautilus's entire kit. However, when you do enough magic damage, like a Varus, or just the entirety of Nautilus's kit, you can sometimes chew through that.
Okay, he took the hook, making sure that he uses the ability, and then absorbs the auto attack root. Not a lot of lethal damage coming up from the Varus just yet, and we see a Hail of Blades build, so, I mean, based off of how they've played the lane so far, it makes sense. They're trying to get these real quick burst timers out, see if it continues to be proficient for them. It looks like both Goblin and Alterus are now punching back.
Really aggressive early trades. You do have to be careful here, though. You're giving Nautilus more room to work with. You do still get to harass people with the Morgana. The long range, the Tormented Soil can be so annoying to deal with on your health bar. You can already see Void Grubs can be picked up by blue side, so Obsidian going to be happy to have that for themselves. It looks like bot lane is going to go ahead and back off for Boise State.
Yeah, maybe a good reset timer. Summit Esports is a
It's hard in Summit Esports. I cast way too long for Boise State. Summit Esports.
You and I have casted plenty of those games, but regardless, we're here for Summit Esports, and
flashbacks.
they are doing what they can to try and equalize and minimize the deficit from getting too much larger, and they've done a pretty considerable job at it. The Grubs will have to see whether or not they are able to gain those plate sway. Pretty interesting champion. I mean, I have reserved feelings playing Dota 2. You know, they have a character called Invoker. Look them up. You'll see what I mean. Anyway.
Yeah, this isn't a Dota 2 stream, though. We can see it looks like a jungler is going to get spotted out there.
Okay.
Jarvan going to back away here. They see Sai in the mid lane. They're going to get caught out by the Nautilus hook.
Okay, with the Nautilus hook, here comes the Pop Blossom as well, and the instant combo meta shift has already taken care of Sai. They unfortunately were not able to escape the clutches of both the Tricky Trickster as well as the Dredgeline man himself.
Say what you will, this Nautilus is doing work here. Already starting to impact the other lanes with their own. We can see a trade happening up in the top lane as well.
He's trying to bait Zac into fighting in the minion wave, and Zac's just not having any of it at all. So great premonition from them. Forces the Black Shield in the bot lane. Another Dredgeline Cry. Gets the binding. Is there going to be enough opportunity for the damage to be punked in? It's not. Ultras is just going to be made out of paper. They're just too far ahead. An equalizing kill, though, by Goblin will make something up for it. Graves here smelling blood in the water. A nice sideways flash. Fancy foot be darned. This Goblin getting 1-for-1 in the bot lane.
I'm going to give that to Summit overall. They are the ones who managed to take out an 80 carry, trade that for his support, and even managed to dodge away from the jungler. The downside is that Misfortune used up both summoner spells, so she is going to be a little bit more vulnerable. Goblin going to just clear the wave with the, pardon not to make it rain, the bullet time to try and give himself a little bit more time to get back to lane before that wave crashes.
Good fear into the QW combo. So, I mean, they do some crazy stuff in general from the games that I've seen. I do see that there's a huge a craziness pool that Hui can pull from. I'm just waiting to see the combo, and that was one of them. Okay, there's the other. Gets the long-range root. Yeah. Starting to get just one of the lost chapters, and getting that item, I think, really helps with that mana regen.
Honestly, I'm still trying to learn what this champion does. I mean, he's no Aphelios, but he's definitely up there in terms of just the sheer flexibility on that champion. Is an artillery mage, so we'll prefer to keep the distance away from that Nico, who very much would like to get into range for a root. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, things have evened out a little bit. You can see across the map, CS is generally on the even side of things, even though more kills have gone over to the side of Obsidian.
Yeah, we see microscopic and sometimes large gold leads being dispersed amongst blue team as the nameless Obsidian tries to make a name for themselves so far against Summit Esports. An early dragon call here. It's going to be the first Drake here at 9:30. Not contested. Ultra is just really baiting all the images, all the eyes onto this bot lane and engage into the Varus. Here comes the Cataclysm. Is there enough follow-up? There's no one there for damage. Ultras wasn't there. It's going to be enough damage. No, unfortunately, Jarvan just gets melted down. They didn't have the MFO, and unfortunately, Morgana was not there in range either.
Little bit of a communication error there. Otherwise would have been a great Cataclysm, but unfortunately not able to follow up. Sacrifice the Jarvan for that. They do manage to pick up the dragon. Unfortunately, don't walk away with a perfect play, but hey, that dragon is an Ocean Drake, and that's going to help them significantly with the aggression that they've been facing so far this game.
Yeah, if you ask me as a jungler, is it worth dying for Drake? It's like 9 times out of 10 worth it. Unless
9
Baron's
times
then up. If Baron's up and it's like Drake 2, I don't know what I'm doing. Engage here in the mid lane. Not even really needing the ulti, but Blunder will just capitalize on making sure they get the gold. Sorry, Nico. You're playing supportive mage mid lane.
And that's
engage
why they
again
call
in the bottom
it
lane.
the Pop Blossom.
Pop. You're gone. Nice
Pop
arrows. Interestingly enough, despite maybe Varus and Nautilus not seeming like they're a great pair, it's a match made in heaven. Both their Qs are at identical ranges. If Varus doesn't end up charging it full, has the ulti engage with both of them on one target, they can disperse the CC.
Oh, both junglers coming around.
It's going to be a full combo from the Misfortune Morgana bottom lane. It's a Bullet Angel is what I'll call it. Get it? Misfortune and Morgana, Bullet Angel.
I love it. I love it.
Jarvan
That's Bullet Heaven down to the bot lane.
Okay, we do see Nico pretending to be Nautilus. Jarvan here in the wings. They know that something's aloof in terms of why they don't see this bush and that ward inside of it.
Not going to be able to crash that wave here. So not going to be able to go for the dive. Probably for the best to call that off. You already got the elimination. You don't want to go running into the definitely not Nautilus there.
Definitely Nautilus. Another engage in the top lane. Just 2 mountains that actually do damage. Physically punching the crap out of each other. This is top lane. This is esports.
Oh, I love me some top lane. Love me some juggernauts. And that's basically what Zach is playing like in this kind of role.
Yeah, and having that early intuition to building the Boots of Ionia, I mean, he has the lucidity to cast these spells effortlessly and on such a short cooldown. Keep in mind, those are the spells that also generate him his healing blobs in these trades. Look, he goes for the full combo, gets the root, has 3 blobs to pick up, heals back to 75% after the trade. Like, come on. Another engage here in the bot lane. That's going to be a dread lane, but doesn't have the root. Doesn't have the damage. The Cataclysm up, slam, and dunk. And Nico gets completely fumbled. Does not find the angle. No, never mind. They find it over the wall. It's going to be Nico getting hit by the Fuego. It's only a massive slow. Can they follow up beside it? Altris is here. They're trying to blind. Root? No, they don't find it. It finds it on the Nico clone. Nico taking some tower shots. Isn't enough to buy some time. There's no one else rotating. Quay rotates out, and unfortunately, it's a 1-for-1 trade, and it's Nautilus for MF.
Let's go ahead and have a replay of that just real quick. You can see, of course, that absurd healing, but look at the way that they play this. They actually use the Cataclysm not to engage, but to peel here, to engage for his carry. They do manage to put down the damage, but here they recommit to the fight with that Graves in the back line. Maybe not the wisest choice. We did see DVP taking a huge chunk of the top lane.
Huge chunk. I'm sorry, it was a 2-for-1 there. So eking out a little bit of a victory, and again, ever so shrinking this gold lead that they're suffering from. Here comes the Grublins. Despite their numbers maybe few, they are mighty. And it's going to be DV for PP just getting punched against the wall. Jarvan, Morn, he's answered the clarion call. He needs to be here for his team.
Oh, Cell Division.
Cell Division, and he still spawns the blobs as a little
There
dude.
we go.
Riot.
I mean, every time it's an ability hit, is there a way for your bloblets to hit someone?
He summoned the Void Grubs as his passive was going. That's what I'm confused about. They came out of his little 4 passive. Oh, it's going to be a gank from its own. No, Nautilus. It's not even a support or a jungler. It's just Nautilus doing Nautilus things. A flash out of the bullet time. And unfortunately now the Q is up. He just has to walk into melee range, gets the Q dodged again. He doesn't commit to the auto attack, and that's a huge blunder from an almost perfect game from this Nautilus. Here comes the bait backwards, the TP to start and save the fight. It's DV for PP. It's DV for PP versus 4.
That is a teleport committed down to the bot lane. You can see that Zach came down just to try and look for the dive. They do decide not to commit.
And this is because Dragon Timer is so prevalent, and now the team that won that trade, I think, has instant access to the Dragon should they pull the trigger on it, but blinking health bars definitely sign of awarded caution. They do not want to forfeit any more opportunity for Summit Esports to get back. This nameless Obsidian really trying to minimize their losses.
I think that was one of the situations where it's really nice to have a set on your team because you can pressure that advantage as long as he's just sitting there regenerating health. He regenerates so much faster passively. Zach has to be actively engaged in combat to heal up, and that's what's going to make the difference on this Dragon. Going to go over to Summit Esports.
It's interesting, it all looked like it was Nameless Obsidian's play all over the map, and they should have taken that free Dragon, but the amount of resources and truthfully the amount of damage threat that was still alive on the side of Summit Esports, just too threatening. So they call it off, they give the Dragon over to Summit Esports, now they have 2, and they give a tower to Miss Fortune. She's free to roam probably into the mid lane now. Or nope, they're going to answer this big way bottom.
I mean, they are going to go ahead and pick up that Rift Herald for themselves over for Obsidian. We'll see where they end up dropping it. It looks like Graves is going to be the one holding on to it, so Blender going to hold on to that till the time is right. Maybe up towards that top lane to give Zach a bit of a boost.
Whoa, okay. Really innovative building. I think that's pretty intuitive. Goblin has Edge of Night for fear of getting hit by these 1 CC marks, and that pull pick comp opportunity means they have to use extra resources on them. Nico just I don't know if they hit tab and knew that Goblin couldn't be CC'd, but
I mean, resources well spent.
Yeah, resources well spent. A shutdown now going over. Goblin got some extra change in their pockets. Now they can maybe afford to wait. It's Edge and Night on both sides. Both these ADCs are crazy. In fact, I think they have the exact same build. Except the Fear of the Goddess here in the top lane. It's going to be just punching central. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. No, it's Zach versus Set. It's going to be a regeneration station as Zach continues to walk over the blobs. He goes with the W. He's healing so much. Jarvan, you better be careful. This guy's blobby. He's flubber. He's dangerous. And he's out of there with his own kill for almost free.
And this is what we were talking about. The in-combat regeneration of the Zach is absolutely ridiculous. So he is able to get all of those blobs. And Seth doesn't really have a way to pull him away from those. He doesn't have the movement speed to beat the Zach to them. Now they're going to go ahead and drop the Rift Herald in the mid. They're pressuring 2 lanes at once. So the Zach is able to stick around. They'll take the mid tower. Maybe even get a second charge here if they stick around.
Oh, they made a turnaround.
Oh, but they left their Fury vulnerable.
Oh no, it's a TP from the mid laner here behind. Nico's got the ultimate. That's the Pot Blossom. And unfortunately, Goblin trying to make their own bullet hell. Unfortunately, it was just in a single line. And they beat the raid boss at his Goblin with their guns.
Got out a little bit there between 4 members. Maybe you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Unfortunately, that's going to be an elimination on Goblin, but it's okay. Boise State will just take some time to regroup, decide what they need to turn around. Pardon, Summit Esports. Goodness. I'm casting with you, Jared. I'm casting Summit Esports with you, Jared.
Summit Esports. It is Summit Esports, and Summit Esports is trying to climb this mountain that is growing by the minute. The nameless one, that is. It is made of obsidian. It is the nameless obsidian. And for those just joining, welcome again. This is Summit Esports up against them in the Meta Shift League. We are in the Xenon division, and this is game 1. As you can clearly see, it's a kind of a nail biter, really. I mean, it could go either way. We see plays on both sides. Obviously, a little bit more plays on the nameless obsidian side right now, but that dragon counter, once you get that soul, it could be the game changer.
Yeah, we do have the option for soul point on the next dragon. Looks like it is going to be a little while before that comes up. But in the meantime, the teams don't really have any objectives to fight for. It's all about just controlling space, taking towers, setting up for the next one. Because that's going to be the next major objective.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dangerous for, I think, the way that these lanes are being pushed out. But, I mean, intelligently so. Here comes the pick onto the big carry of Summit Esports. Unfortunately, he's going to run away. They are going to run away. Zai, unfortunately, will fall here. Up in the top lane, DB for PP continues to just get blobbed on, knocks him into the wall, but it's just to get himself closer to the tower. Is it all for naught? Stretching Strike's not there yet. He does just not have the regen to deal with the Zach. Zach's going to dive under tower. He's got 300 health. He's going to be baited under tower. Morn trying to get the EQ combo, does not have it. Only finds the slow with the W. Cataclysm not up, not wanting to be used yet. They're just going to punch down. This Zac actually has the damage to do so. Jarvan had that passive, the Demacian standard combo, just so much extra damage on maximum HP, so that could have been the winning edge. And unfortunately for DB4PP, he does not have that passive. He's got to figure out a way to stop this 1v1 from going the way of Zac on repeat.
He did go ahead and finally pick himself up some grievous wounds. You can see that he's got the Executioner's Calling now in his inventory, so that is going to help a little bit against the Zac. Personally, I prefer this because it's the more aggressive choice. I suppose you could also go for a Thornmail, but there's not really a magic resistance equivalent of that, and that's what you need to really fight a Zac. Ooh,
really
good
great
catch.
flanking TP, tries to finally engage him. Gets the flash from Nautilus, does have Hex Flash, so it's not the biggest detriment, but I guess taking a flash off of Nautilus means he doesn't have that in combat summoner spell. Another
Right
TP, this one from Zac. They see it, they know it's here. They're gonna collapse on him. Is it enough? They don't have the damage. He's gonna just flop himself over to the other side of that wall. Nautilus taking the full clip. And Misfortune continues to pop off. Zac gonna be the target of the next series of damage from Summit Esports. Every time this dragon is up, they fight with their heart. They may be making some mistakes across the map, but DB4PP goes huge mode, and the Cataclysm to boot. There's no follow-up for damage just yet, but just get your carries in the way. Goblin is sprinting on their little cookies, and they will find a shutdown, and they will send the nameless Obsidian. Who are they? We don't know, because Summit Esports is here.
The Nameless Obsidian are playing this pick game, and they played it so well in the early stages of the game, but Boise State is parted. Summit Esports, gosh darn it, Goblin is an 80 carry and use a caster. It's like the old days. Summit Esports is showing us exactly how you team fight around these objectives. You eliminate both tanks, and what do you do? Except now they're overcommitting.
Engage. Oh my god, Metaship finds a fantastic flank. Finds the blast cone over the wall, finds the ultimate as well. Can they salvage this? There's still some crucial members for Summit Esports alive. You have Sai. They are going big. They are going double kill. They're getting engaged on by Zac. Is the rest of the team there? No, they say. Sorry.
Not going to be happening this time. Looks like they're going to go ahead and back away from the Baron. Baron dance complete. Sometimes you got to know. I have already used that joke. Let's see this one more time. You can see that both of the frontliners have been eliminated. And that makes it so much easier for the members of Summit Esports to just run down the Nameless Obsidian. They don't have a front line anymore, and so they can just get picked off one by one.
Yeah, and we also got to see exactly, minus maybe the Misfortune ult, but you take out the Nautilus, you stop a lot of their CC on the side of Nameless Obsidian. We saw how Summit Esports wants to play this comp. You have these two hyper-aggressive mid to backline divers with the Jarvan and the Set, and then you just have all bits of utility being thrown down the entire river. I mean, I don't know if it came to fruition prior for these team fights. I think a lot of them were a lot more haywire before this third Drake, but they're getting a little bit more congealed, and that's looking a little spicy.
I mean, it may be a team fight comp, but it definitely has the ability to run people down between the artillery mage, the huge amount of dive, and just the lockdown that this Morgana can provide. A lot of peeling for the team in that queue alone onto a key target.
They want this. They know their vision's being cleared, and they know that Summit Esports wants to try and push their own vision line itself. Goblin looking for a target. Gets the E to make it rain here to try and reveal some of that bush. Doesn't find much opportunity, but luckily Morn did have the sweeper spotted the Graves trying to go over the wall, so you gotta be careful. Every one of these bushes with a certain combo of CC and damage for the side of Nameless Obsidian is lethal.
The fact that we've seen this much aggression on both sides and that it's this close is astonishing. You do have to remember that even though Summit Esports is a little bit further behind, they do have those dragons that are making up for some of those stats. Alturus getting engaged on alone in a dangerous spot. Maybe between three.
Use it. My goodness, it's just a full round of roundhouse kick, and the Baron will do the finishing blow. Morgana helps, right? Black Shield down, but I don't know if it's enough of a deterrent to make the Nameless Obsidian confident in pulling for Dragon there.
Not Baron play, definitely for sure. I think Morn and Goblin are the real targets you want to take if you want to grab the Baron.
Absolutely. I do agree wholeheartedly. Again, the vision dance is so fun around Baron. Luckily, side, they are just doing what they need to, keeping the bot lane pressured. It will be started here, actually, and a TP will be forced. They are able to see this, but for a moment, Zac trying to just peel off in the front line. A TP now from Quay. They are going to be coming here. Sai trying to do what they can. They stop it. They stop the Baron. They do force the teleport, but of course, I mean, I don't really think that Sai wanted to be off the map anyway.
It looked
And
like
they
it was
already got the
actually a
bottom push.
trade of teleports. You managed to push them off. You're denying some of the backs here. You do have the pressure advantage here as Summit Esports. You're going to take the area, maybe the crab if they can get it. Good, good. It does mean you're down a smite, but you're not planning on picking up that Baron anyway. Graves is basing.
They don't know this, but Graves based.
Oh,
They're
man.
pretty fast. Does have the quick draw. Does have, of course, Yomu's if they wanted to activate that item. I think they just want to go for more lane supremacy, maybe a little more comfort in this opportunity to look for a dragon or a Baron too. I mean, that considered, they're comfortable just waiting till Soul comes up too and then sneak that again.
DVP in a bit of a dangerous spot. Is gonna back away.
Showed a little leg. Has the the Chem-Punk Chainsword. I just call it Chem-Jump because I don't know how to say it.
Chainsword, you got it.
Yeah, Chem-Punk Chainsword. I know the name. It's just, I think it's more funny to speak like a caveman, personally. No offense to the Geico commercial. I heard you're getting a lot of flack right now. It's okay.
Yeah,
man.
poor guy.
Being here, that's, I was going to say, that's not a minion. I hate to tell you. I hate to tell you some of these sports.
What's that minion doing out here?
Hey, look, gold. Oh, wait, this gold is hurting me. Even for PP walking in potential danger, he's going to be the one collapsed on. Oh no, he doesn't have the shield. He tries to pop the W. He gets instant pop. He's going into the Zag. There's going to. He barely gets the shield from play. Here comes the engage. The bullet time cataclysm combo will instantly take out 2 life bars, but it is now a 3 versus 3. They're kiting. Pop Blossom will be used. Jarvan trying to go for the EQ combo. Taking out the Seiko. Finds the right one. Dashes between the wrong one. Flashes and tries to get the Titanic Hydra. Zac on the back line with this Graves in tow. Yeah, the spacing from Goblin and Ultras is insane. They are doing phenomenal, keeping the Zac from touching them, keeping the Graves and trying to get the slow. And it doesn't matter. The combo's there. The CC's here. Summit Esports is here to stay. And the nameless ones will fall. Dragon will be the name of the objective now for Summit Esports.
Everything looked like it was about to go wrong for Summit Esports with DVP caught out by the entire team, but he bought so much time, and as the team's tank with that grit bought up so many resources, look at how much ends up getting used on him. All these important cooldowns, he tanks through it all, slams them out of position, sets up a cataclysm for 3 members here for Goblin to drop the bullet time onto, and that's why there's only a handful left.
By DV for PP's play, it may not look like it worked, but he bought an extra 6 seconds when he should have died. Just by his W and positioning with his ulti alone. Insane.
And that 6 seconds was all they needed to set up the Cataclysm bullet time combo.
Just wait, he's getting tankier too. Vision will now be denied. Baron on the map. And you know, he may be having difficult times staying alive in the face of 5 members from the nameless Obsidian. You know what would help with that? A Mountain Soul.
A Mountain Soul, indeed.
A Mountain Soul.
They're going to be a lot tankier with those bonus buffs. It doesn't mean they are invincible. They do have to take time to regenerate, but it does mean that you can't exactly burst them down as easily as you could otherwise. That's going to be great protection for Goblin. And for Sai, who is now doing a good amount here.
Stuff this sorry, Zach. Sorry, not sorry. Gets whopped up, gets the jaws of life on them, but this one will be looking for death. Jarvan Morn trying to pull the trigger. Not going to do it just yet. Maybe just go for tower. There's no one here in close proximity. It's just going to be Nautilus and Zac for a couple seconds. They get the tower. They get the engage. Cell Division's gone. Zac, you're hubris. You don't have it built, but you're showing it.
In the meantime, Summit Esports also goes ahead and picks up the bottom tower. So now pressure is mounting as Boise State's scaling composition continues to lead into the later stages of the card in Summit Esports. Cool. Someone set up a counter for me, and I will train myself accordingly for the future. We do have an engage.
On the front line, side gets instantly picked off. Unfortunately, Jarvan will be the next target. He'll go for the chasm. They have the bullet time, but it's just out of range. He didn't get the longer scope. He didn't get his gun upgraded. They're running away. They're fleeing. Make it rain. Could buy enough slow. It's going to be a Morgana binding for a second. Ultras diving in, trying to go for the ultimate. The Soul Shackle will get no stuns, unfortunately. But all the while, they pulled for the play. They stopped the bases, and an inhibitor will be their prize. Is it worth the Baron trade? We'll have to see.
It is still Goblin. They are going to send Zach back, so
Okay.
DVP is going to have someone to deal with. Goblin, in the meanwhile, 1 against 3 with the Baron. Maybe 2 versus
Oh,
3
I
if you count the Baron, because that's a
Believers!
lot of damage.
He needs your energy. Give it to him now. The minions are chasing him down. He's actually stopping the Baron
He stopped
as
it,
one person.
and he's stopping the backs too, which means DVP is free to fight 1v1. He is unfortunately going to go down. At
Hey.
this point, I feel like Goblin, maybe you're biting off a little more than you
there
can
might
do,
be a
buddy.
little bit too much. Wait, he takes
Oh
one
my
with him.
gosh.
He takes one with him, and on the back
Takes a
end,
second.
they actually get side TP'd the top lane that whole time. Makes it a 2-for-2 across the map. That means that no Baron again can be looked by the nameless Obsidian.
Overall,
Oh, the
huge
long range
trade.
poke! Another stop by side. Everyone just popping off in their own subtle ways.
Summit Esports making just tiny little aggressions that go a long way. If you can't get back to your base, then DVP is going to take up as much of it as he can. We've seen just how long this character can survive under this kind of pressure. Now that he's got some health under him, he does have that steric gauge. That's going to last him a lot longer in these combats, and that item has been significantly buffed from last season.
Where are the Kanic Rookerns, huh? Tier 2 tower, a small consolation, but one that opens up huge opportunities for the map. And now it's time for Summit Esports to take their prize. Will they be able to run away with it? They do. Saw using the movement speed buff from this Hui's interesting kit. Zach looking for an opportunity. He has an angle. They see that he warded. He's going to go for side. Nice flash. And the emote to boot. He actually goes make it bounce. That's a Zach ultimate.
Let's
So
bounce,
confident.
unfortunately burned. Like, so confident that he's going to get the crowd control in that area that Sai is just able to walk out. They do end up using the flash, thankfully. So that is going to be traded over their ultimate for flash. Probably a better, I mean, considering the low cooldown of Let's Bounce, so they'll probably a favorable trade. It does mean that your artillery mage is going to be a little bit more vulnerable here.
Doesn't have the TP either, so they have to stick with the play for now. Can't be using any of that to go anywhere else. Unfortunately for this team, both teams, it's going to be potentially Nico into set side lane due to TP advantage, maybe. They're going to keep set near the Baron pit. They're going to force mid as much as they can as well, knowing that there are super minions just chugging down bot lane. And the dragon, it is Elder time.
Obsidian needs to find a big dig, and they need to find it now.
Great reservation for Morn. Goes for the flash cataclysm. Actually finds a real target, and so much is going to be already used onto him to stop the damage. It's not enough. He finds the background. Goblin will find the shots. He's not a sniper, but he's playing Misfortune like one. And now Zach almost finds another Q. Tormented Binding. Almost going to find something there as well, but they're just going to push in the super minion bottom lane. Zach trying to find a quick base, but what's the point? His base is going into shambles. They're running into the tower. Set's charging up that grid, taking tower shots. I don't really care about towers. It swims a Nico the whole time. He gets the full shield. He gets the knockback. He takes out the clone outside of the range of anyone, but it doesn't matter. There's no way to stop Summit Esports. They're gonna take it, and they're gonna damn themselves. They may have lost early game, but they win game 1 against Nameless Obsidian.
I just want to point out that was a fantastic final fight. Specifically, the trigger finger on Summon Esports bot laner Goblin. The fact, yes, he went ahead and just spent the bullet time early, but then if you pay attention to a replay, you can watch him slowly waiting patiently for his moment to pop in and burst 2 health bars down. There's no more coming back from that.
Yeah, it's tough, and you know, at a certain point, the advantage was for a long time. It looked like Nameless Obsidian had a few great moves, but to be honest, when it came down to it, they weren't able to define picks anymore. You know, Summit Esports was grouping as 4, as 5, and were really concerted towards saving anyone who could be picked. We saw in that bottom lane fight where DVVP lived for that additional 6 seconds. That was their moment. That's what their comp's for, and they still couldn't kill the guy before the team fight team showed up.
And that's one of those things that I think favors the team fight. There's sort of this, it's almost like a triangle of advantage. Any Fire Emblem fans out there will know what I'm thinking about right now. But in this case, you have this pick composition. Pick compositions are really great when you're trying to do a split push because you can pick a target off. when you're going into a team fight and the opposing team is all grouped up together, they're all protecting each other, you're not going to find a pick. You're going to have a much harder time getting to that backline. And the fact that they had built so many defensive tools to protect the backline, the Edge of Night, the Kane's Rooker, and stuff like that, and the Black Shield on top of that, it's so hard to get to the back of that backline to pick up the targets that you need because the Misfortune and the Hui are so well protected.
Yeah, and truth be told as well, unfortunately, while Zach does have a lot of regeneration, this kit doesn't really make him that tanky, really. He just has a bunch of health. He can build resistances, sure, but he doesn't have like a shield. He doesn't have damage reduction. He doesn't have like any immunity or any way to keep himself or his team alive more than just going in. And that is potentially the shortcoming and the main difference maker we saw again, just by sheer comparison. At the second half of the game, Set was running the show. Zach was unfortunately just a bunch of blobs.
We are going to go ahead and go to a break here shortly, and we will be returning for game 2 with me and Baratel. Happy to be here. Power dive if they want to fight it. Yeah. It's just a really safe place to be. It's also so hard to maintain a freeze when you've got so many enemies right up against you.
Yeah, and despite maybe what you would think, Karma not being a more aggressive champion than Nico, Mothership's 2-0 early in this game, and as you were mentioning, the ability to run down Summit Esports is made very well possible by sponsors like you and also Karma's entire kit.
The entire kit allowing first lows. Great bubble. Looks like they're not going to be able to follow up on it. They do get a little ebb and flow off, so they'll get a little bit of healing. Nico going to do some damage back. Metashift going to back up Psy, rooted in place.
The mini damage.
Using the clone to block the Q. Good play.
Yeah, great play. This is going to be a pretty favorable trade there for Psy. They are able to continue to swing back even though having a little bit of gold deficit because of those 2 kills. Karma, though, I think is a potential look with that tiny gold lead and that shutdown available. Could be a huge opportunity to get Psy other places on the map. We know that Nico can be pretty devastating if you do not know how to count your minions.
We do see Jarvan in the wings.
Looks like and the death sentence go. I thought someone was in that tri-brush. Unfortunately, I don't know if it actually hit Jarvan or not while he was doing his red buff.
I mean, I didn't see him wiggle around for a little while.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like there was a Nami had the flash. There we go. Gets a good hook. Death sentence over the wall. Tidal wave through the middle of the team as the lockdown begins.
There's going to be another fight. Now Cataclysm now being turned on to some of the esports. I know he got me saying it's going to be Goblin just plinking through flurry of arrows, doing their best monk impression. Zach able to dive barely under tower. He's so tiny and cute. And unfortunately, things are going a little haywire in this early game. And unfortunately, despite what maybe the Summit Esports comp wants to do in the early parts of the game, I think maybe they're reserving for that 5v5, that level 6 advantage. Everyone having ultimates in this is a team fight. Another dive, he's going to be under tower. Jin Zhao saving all abilities, finds the dash, finds the EW combo. That's going to be 1 kill. He has the slow on Tanami. He's continuing auto, finds the ultimate as well, flashes forward. Morn's getting a double kill. Is it going to be a triple? You don't even know what this man can do, but he'll show you with the spear behind it.
There's a reason they call him Win Zhao, and he's going to go ahead and pick up that triple kill. It's amazing sometimes just punishing that over-aggression. You can see underneath the tower, they don't manage to get more than 2 turret shots on him, but at this point, he's kind of just running down the opposing team. You're talking about aggression. You're talking about the ability to dive onto a target. You're not going to find many better options than a Jin Zhao.
So good, and also the patience to walk up, just use your auto attacks and that 3-hit combo, and then use your abilities once the Lucian inevitably dashes away. Very, very insightful and inspiring gameplay. Nice dodge of the undertow. He goes for the make it bounce. Is it enough? It's just going to be an equalizer. Trying to get more blobs to keep themselves healthy. Now it's going to be another engage. It's going to be the mid laner Karma in danger, but team in tow. They managed to call it off. It's a 3v2. Wait, they actually got a TP? They got a TP out of it too. Okay.
Like they did. Oh, Zach.
Oh, the top lane. He finds the W. Oh, no, the shield. It's just too much. He does have the Bramble. He doesn't have the Bomby Cinder. Olaf will win this 1v1 in the top lane. And Seaborg will continue to push that tower.
Very close fight there. That shield going to save Olaf just barely.
Look at this angle.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Summit Esports Premier League in Season 3. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Summit Esports Premier League in Season 3, where Savage Mongoose Dynasty is taking on the Krusty Trap. I'm your hostess, Joan Glovely Clock, joined again by Chris X-Ray White, here to call all of the action on the Rift.
That's me. I'm here. So interesting start to the game. A little bit of a stack, hoping or seeing if they would invade with the Thresh. You know, when you play these hook type champions, you always kind of predict that they're gonna play these invades, these level 1s invade. Looking at the jungler starts, both junglers are starting at their red buff. So much dog pathing towards that top side, and OT Gator, of course, pathing to that bot side. So we'll see how these like level 3, level 4-esque will level 4s for the junglers stack up.
Not big of a surprise in the routing here as far as I'm concerned. You want to get that Riven going ahead. Already a great trade into Space Walrus. Almost half health there on that little trade.
Yeah, level 1 Riven is very strong. Probably one of the best level 1s in the whole game at all, because you can stack Conqueror, I'm pretty sure, with just the 3...
Just the broken wings, yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of which, ooh, there we go. Another huge chunk there. Ornn in a bit of trouble. Things will even out, though, as Ornn starts to get more armor. Assuming he lasts that long. Alturas not going to find a death sentence there underneath the tower.
Yeah, cheeky, maybe going for a cheeky hook. Hopefully we're going to see a lot more pressure, though, in this bot side. Organa and Seraphine are really just trying to clear the wave and just kind of get the experience through that. Nico applying a lot of pressure in this mid lane, though, already shoving in to the bot side. And this Morgana pick is the Morgana pick is a counter pick actually into the Thresh. Morgana counters Thresh, but we will see if Butts is able to do it. Altera's gonna dodge the binding there. Oh.
In the meanwhile, looks like that top lane is going to get shoved in. Riven player doing a lot to pressure. You can tell why that nickname was earned, why that gamer tag is there. Knows this champion incredibly well. It's a bit of a surprise that that one trick got through. Meanwhile, Space Walrus in a bit of a tough spot, getting bullied out underneath the tower. That sometimes that's the life of the top laner. Death sentence will miss. Are going to get the flay. There's a lockdown in response, but not going to do a ton of damage back. As you were talking about, yeah, the Morgana does do a great job against the Thresh. Death sentence obviously canceled out by that black shield. You can also do the same thing against the flay.
Yeah, so I mean, in this top lane, like I said, it's Ornn's gonna is favored in the short trades, but in anything longer than like his first 3 abilities, he is pretty much losing it every capable fight until he gets, you know, that armor you said. So we will see what he can do. Godspeed looking for a binding, not gonna find it. So yeah, junglers finishing their full clear. Still pretty standard, no ganks happened yet, so still pretty quiet. We'll see what these teams are going to do. And they're still level 5.
Stardust is starting to stack up.
Yeah,
Nice.
Grub should be spawning here in 15 seconds. So much dog is pathing up towards that top side. Once again, OT Gator is already in the top side. Maybe gonna start the Grubs. Grub's very powerful.
Gator is spotted out on a ward there, so they do know he's in the area. Nico gonna take a lot of damage, forced to try and get away. First blood with the flash.
That is a crazy solo kill. Godspeed. Like we said, a silver player killing a Masters mid laner, so Godspeed is definitely feeling good with that solo kill.
Just goes to show that rank isn't everything. Sometimes it's about having the right champion in the right situation, and that lockdown and poke is what turned that fight around.
Yeah, OT Gator here in the bot side looking to secure that dragon. So much dodge. Top jungler still. Baseball is going in here. Is level 6. Revan player is level 5. Space Walrus doesn't have any mana though.
Don't have to worry about that resource. Looks like Space Walrus is going to back away, not going to commit to this fight. Ornn now with 15. Look at the wave getting frozen in that top side of the map. It feels so bad as an Ornn player when you're caught in this kind of situation. Void Grubs are going to go ahead and be taken by blue side. So much dog. Happy to grab at least one of them. Looks like he's going to farm maybe 2. Has all the pressure he needs. He could probably take all 3 of them if he wanted to, though it would reveal his position.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, when you
There it goes.
when you have a player like Revan player who's gonna probably split for a lot of the game, I think it's fine. Ooh,
Death
okay.
sentence committed there. He is just trying to clear the ward and keep his team safe. They're going to go ahead and pick up the dragon there on the bottom side of the map. That's going to be an ocean dragon and going to help them a little bit with some of the poke that can be put out by these champions. Although they are pretty pokey themselves. Riven in the top lane going in on Walrus, not going to be able to do much more than a couple of hits, but those couple of hits are starting to whittle that Ornn down. Does not have the mana to sustain in the lane for too long.
I will say...
Gonna...
Oh, okay.
Ooh, potential gank gonna be coming in. Graves in the area isn't gonna commit. Another black shield in the bot lane as well. There's so many tools to just nullify these engages.
Yeah, Space Walrus though, like you gotta remember, it is Ornn, so he doesn't really do anything until
Ooh, good knock up. Gonna keep Riven alive, or Riven will stay alive, but it'll keep Space Walrus healthy. Looks like they are gonna call off the gank. Good call.
Yeah, like kind of like what I was saying. Ornn doesn't really do anything until like he starts in that like level 14 where he can start clicking on his ADC and upgrade these items. And that's what Ornn is mainly picked for in Summit. Is like you have these lower tiered.
Ooh, Dark Binding. It's gonna get caught out, take a lot of damage, but Dark Passage will get him over the wall.
Yeah, I just realized this is a really dirty combo, because if Morgana hits any binding, Seraphine just has to E once and they're instantly stunned with the Seraphine passive.
Ooh, didn't quite get it there either.
Altera's looking for these hooks. I like it because he's always really proficient in these hook type champions, the Nautilus, the Thresh, the Blitzcrank. We've seen a couple Pike games, but he's really good on these different ones.
Ooh, in the engagement in the top lane, we do see that Riven has reforged her blade. It's going to do a ton of damage, but will not pick up the kill. Doesn't have the aggression to shove the Ornn out. But meanwhile, on the bottom side, Flay does connect. We also get the black shield, but that is going to keep Shrubby Turtle alive. Exhaust expended. I do love the way that the Mongoose are playing this bottom lane. They're one of the downsides. Oh, never mind. Hold on. We got the Ornn horn coming through. Completely misses. Walrus in a very difficult spot. But as I was saying about that bot lane, just the way that they're playing back, those hook champions are much better when they have more space to chase you down, more area to lock you down, which you don't always get. We do see the gank coming in. We do see OT Gator trying to find an engagement. He is going to pick up butts and walk away with only half his health.
Yeah, pretty successful dive, I would say.
Ooh, Nico maybe getting caught out. Uses the Pop Blossom. Going to stun him up, but does not have a ton of damage yet. Godspeed forced to back away. Two of them are both going to back off as the Wukong is coming up. Nico might be in a bad spot. Does not have the Dragon's Flight. He's going to use the ultimate just for the knock-up. We do see Graves come around the backside. So much dodge. Lays it down. Goodbye, Gator. That's going to be one more elimination, Jungler.
Yeah, kind of a messy fight. Godspeed did flash to try to root Nico, but was unable to hit the root. And OT Gator was under tower, and I think took like 2 or 3 tower shots, so he was already pretty low, and then So Much Dog just comes in, kind of cleans up the kill, OT, and killing OT Gator.
Maybe a little aggressive there. They are going to pick up potentially the next round of the Void Grubs. Godspeed is in the area. They pick up 1. Walrus is going to be forced to back off here. Is now 3 in the area. No, actually, they have the Thresh up here as well. And here comes Aurelion Sol. This could be a fight. Dark Binding doesn't find a target. Neither does Death Sentence. They're going to burn this down. Force Alturas to back off. They're going to chase for a little bit. Maybe a good call. Thresh did still have some crowd control available. They're also going to put a little pressure on that top side turret.
Oh. Soldier's looking for a kill here.
Ooh, Shrubby taking a lot of damage. Doesn't have the ability to lock Silva down. That's going to be a kill as well.
The solo bolo in the bot lane. Silva taking the kill. Pops the ghost and just runs at Shrubby Turtle. Shrubby doesn't have that flash. Does have the R, but didn't use it.
Looking back up at the top lane, look at those CS numbers. It feels bad to be an Ornn.
These numbers real quick. Yeah, that's a 60 CS. That's a lot.
A lot. Oh my goodness, the damage onto Alturas punished very much for going for that death sentence. Locked in place for the full kit of the Seraphine to drop. Oh, good lockdown as well there. Silva gonna take huge chunks of damage.
Yeah, Riven player just gets to proxy the wave now. I mean, Ornn is 45 CS. Like, he is unable to really
Look at the
do
vision
anything.
here. OP Gator comes in completely unseen. It's Shrubby Turtle on his own. Bums is not in the area. Trying to find an opening here. Is gonna be forced to back away. Looks like they're gonna abort the gank.
Oh, Riven player's down here. Most likely gonna be the dragon.
Most likely.
SMD. So well done for them. Picking up the dragon. Yeah, honestly, like right now, I think like later in the game, I would honestly favor the Krusty trap. You know, Silva's gonna have a lot more of those items, and the packet is gonna get her upgraded forms. Ornn's gonna be, level 13, 14, and start right-clicking on his teammates and giving him essentially 1,000 gold each, 3,000 gold. So Godspeed uses the TP. Will not have it for this Rift Herald play, so hopefully nothing will happen. Riven player though, gotta be careful
maybe
here.
A bit of a dangerous spot. Is dancing around that pretty well to avoid the knockup. Well, it does end up getting knocked up in the end. Will commit the ultimate. 2 more players in the background. OT Gator underneath the tower. Here comes Sky's Ascend. Tons of damage in the area. Takes out the clone. Space Walrus barely taken out. So much dog is going to be the answer. OT Gator still in a good position. Did end up using that ultimate, but still go in. Meanwhile, the other side of the map, the stage. My goodness, the curtain call. No. Oh my goodness, I always forget the name of that ultimate for Seraphine, but she is going to be taken out regardless of it. And it looks like OT Gator is going to back off in the top lane.
Yeah, really well played by OT Gator there, unable to save Space Walrus, but was able to get a trade kill here as we see it. So OT Gator goes into clone form so they don't know where he is. But then you have so much dog who's tanking tower, takes a tower shot, and then OT Gator just blows him up, uses the second R to disengage. And then vice versa in that bot side. Oh, and they get a kill. They got a kill off screen.
Another elimination, yeah.
Yes.
Looks like Butts might have just been blown up there. Was alone underneath the tower, so with Shrubby Turtle in the area to dissuade with more damage and crowd control. Just getting caught out there by the Thresh.
Yeah, I mean, really well played by Silva and Alturas, looking for that cross-map play as well, picking up that Seraphine, and then right there, the Morgana. So, well done to Silva and Alturas making those cross-map plays, making sure this top lane, gap is not totally lost.
Always an opportunity for that Ornn. He does scale very well into the later stages of the game, even if he is behind now. The downside, of course, is that you are further delaying the Ornn items, the ornaments, as we call them.
Yeah.
Those empowered stats for the late game. Looks like we do have Riven player coming down to see what's going on. Godspeed is in the area as well. It would be 3 versus 1, so looks like Riven player is just going to back away.
It wouldn't surprise me if Riven players I like those odds, and goes in.
No. No,
We've
this
seen crazier plays.
this is not the time for Leroy Jenkins. We do see a flash and a hook, huge hook layout, encore into 2. They do stun him up. Shrubby Turtle taking a ton of damage, but there's the chase down. Oh, so close. Death Sentence comes out just to try and find a target, but here's Aurelion Sol rooted up under the tower. That's going to be a shutdown. Alturas does not get the Dark Passage, and now Nico is going after Thresh. There's the ultimate coming out just to zone him into the Breath of Light. Nico gonna walk up, get caught by the Death Sentence, but Fletz is actually gonna be the one to get the elimination. Maybe a bit of a misplay there. Walrus being taken on 2 versus 1 underneath the tower. Oh my goodness, shut down! What a play! Ornn able to use that knockup, keep him underneath the tower for long enough. Now it's just so much talk. Who's gonna continue pressuring? But on the meantime, right side, or Krusty Trap is gonna pressure that bottom lane with the Herald.
Yo, Space Warless, my man. That's another solo bolo for Space Warless. This is how I got the solo bolo king status. It's like he's playing these Ornn champions, and you know he's this like really tank style champions, and he's solo killing people under tower, like they're just diving him
With
on
half
repeat.
the CS.
Yeah, he's down half the CS, but it just doesn't matter. He gets the solo bolo, and he's able to, you know, survive and, you know, kill someone. It's a good trade because, you know, he's already down so much, but getting the kill and the shutdown is a huge boost. Honestly, I would feel really good for the Krusty Trap right now.
Definitely that Ornn gonna survive, pick up some new items, including a, oh my goodness, still hasn't finished his first item, hasn't had the opportunity to do so yet. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and see that dragon spawning onto the rift. This is an Earth Rift. We didn't get an opportunity to mention that earlier, and it looks like the Krusty Trap is going to have the priority here in this case. They're gonna commit a teleport up to the top lane where Riven player puts down almost half damage on that tower. And yes, they're going to go ahead and pick up a Mountain Dragon. That's going to make things easier for this Ornn in the top lane. A little bit of extra armor.
Yeah, I think this is actually an okay give for SMG. You know, they have 6 scrubs, they already have a dragon, so if it was like a 3rd dragon, I'd probably be like, okay, it's probably a little bit more dangerous. Gotta be careful.
Ooh. Alturas uses the Death Sentence defensively for once, just guarding his 80 carry, maybe backing in a bit of an awkward spot. They do manage to get out on both sides.
Yeah, I think Silva, Alturas having a really good game so far. Godspeed having an exceptional game with that solo kill and still just kind of holding in there. It does have that CS deficit in the mid lane, but isn't too far behind. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, there is also a CS lead for Silva, so we will see. I honestly think what the next play is for the Krusty Trap is just try to help this Ornn get back into, not the game, but like help him get levels, and so he can kind of start upgrading his team.
Well, it looks like they have settled him into the top lane, where he's just going to rest. Riven is heading down towards that bottom side of the map, so maybe he'll have more opportunity to pick up some farm now that he's no longer being forced to duel one of the 4 horsewomen of top lane.
Ooh. My apologies, I was having a yawn. My apologies, Mr. Content Creator. Yeah, honestly, I think this is a really good game for Krusty Trap. I think they're performing really well, but I also want to point out that Nico does have that shutdown. So right now, I would be looking to get that onto either Silva, OT Gator, Godspeed, you know, someone who has this like kind of carry potential for the Krusty Trap. Riven player sitting in this bot lane though into the Nico, so Godspeed's got to be a little careful here because if the Riven does happen to get on him, it can be dangerous. Godspeed does have that root though, however, so this mid tower though is kind of halting the Krusty Trap's progress.
Yeah, a lot of pressure onto that mid area being committed, but in exchange it allows this dragon to come up to the top. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and pick up some farm. That is kind of what you want to do with your Aurelion Sol. Get him as many stacks of that Stardust as you can. We are now at 20 minutes into the game, which means that the Baron is in play. players might have to keep an eye on that one. The good old Baron Ballet, as I like to call it, where the players dance back and forth trying to take that objective. We'll see if that ends up coming into play here. We do see some vision being cleared out in the area, and it looks like that's going to have Butts catch out OT Gator. Not going to get a lockdown, but they'll clear out some wards.
Yeah, the Baron's up, and with with the new season, there is now 3 different types of Barons, and this looks like it's just gonna be our standard Baron. Nothing changing about the map. Still the standard map, and they finally get that mid tower, so it opens up the map just a little bit more.
They're going to commit to the Demolish proc. Space Walrus probably not getting out of this one. Nope, So Much Dog is going to be the one to take that. In the meantime, Riven player caught out awkwardly. There's the Pop Blossom. This Riven player going to go for over the wall, but is going to get caught, followed by this Kaisa. Tons of damage, but Silva's going to be the one to pick up the kill. That's one more elimination over to the Krusty Trap.
That was an insane Kaisa R. He R'd over the wall to preemptively go over the wall for the Riven Flash. That was a crazy R by Silva, and then picking it up, and then well played by Alturas throwing that lantern just in case, SMD had their players in the bot side, but unfortunately no one could respond to it just because Silva was just so quick. He was in and out. And SMD is going to start the Baron here.
Yeah, a bit of an aggressive play. They're also committing a teleport for it.
Oh.
Godspeed doesn't know they're there, just checking in, but did see a reaction. Looks like the team is going to look for an opportunity to collapse. Baron is going to go over to the Mongoose, and they're going to back away. It looks like there's not going to be a fight for that.
Yeah, they were just not in the proper positioning there, just because I'm Silva, Alturas, and I believe OT Gator had to reset.
Oh, Space Walrus, maybe in a bad position. So Much Dog is going to turn around and take the damage. Here comes the Oran Horn. Flash actually committed in order to evade it. Space Walrus might be getting out of here with his life. Gonna use that Blast Cone to get away, and in the meantime, the Krusty Trap is on the bottom side of the map, picking up a dragon that's going to be their third and put them on soul point. Flash committed by Space Walrus to back away as the Baron continues to push down that top side of the map.
Yeah, I think really well played by the Krusty Trap here. They did lose that Baron, but now SMD has to reset, to kind of spend that gold that they just got. And so they respond with getting the dragon. So well played by the Krusty Trap, and now they are on soul point. So this would be a huge soul for the side of the Krusty Trap. This Orin is going to be, in theory, just a really tanky individual, and then like this Wukong's gonna be really tanky and have a lot of damage and sustain, and this Thresh is just also gonna be super tanky and hard to kill.
I mean, what it comes down to is it gives you a really strong front line, which is really important if you're trying to enable some of these longer range champions in the back. We do see the engage onto the Aurelian Soul. Shutdown's going to go over to Thresh, which is a little unfortunate. Looks like there's going to be a trade in the back line. Silva's going to take Butts down, pick up that, and Shrubby Turtle now caught in a bad position. Alturas does find the Death Send, is being pursued by So Much Dog, but they're both going to be caught out. This is a dangerous position. Shutdown is going to go over to the Kaisa, and now they have full reign of the map. Teleport going to be committed to the top lane just to stop Riven player who wasn't there for that fight.
Yeah, didn't have teleport, so this is a really well played by Krusty Trap. They get the 2 shutdowns. Nico is I think at like a 300 or 600 gold shutdown, and So Much Dog also had to shut down. OT Gator did pick up, or no, sorry, Alturas picked up one, and then Silva picked the other one up. Ooh, there's a
teleport coming from in behind. Going to try and close in. It is Nico onto Godspeed. There goes the ultimate. They're going to catch out Alturas, who unfortunately did not have the health. Second teleport also committed. Godspeed in a bit of an awful spot here. Looks like they might be getting out. They do have Silva going to allow Godspeed the time to catch up. Looks like they're going to go and see if they can get to that turret in time. Are going to be able to get away. In the meantime, on the other side of the rift, Space Walrus being caught out 1 versus 4. Commits to the call of the Forge God. Does not get a knock up. Nico is going to pick up that kill, and they're going to continue pressuring the middle tower. Maybe a bit of an overcommittal there from the Krusty Trap as they now come barreling down on the mid lane. OT Gator trying to find an opportunity to turn this around.
Yeah, I think they just stayed a little bit too long. I did like the play of trying to get the inhibitor tower. And we're going back to this play. So yeah, really well hook here from Alturas. Does pick up the shutdown, unfortunately wanted to go onto the Silva. And Butts and Shrubby Turtle trying to go in there. And So Much Dog is just in the middle of everyone. And unfortunately falls there. But luckily, you know, SMD found that return play and picked up a couple kills.
Well, it looks like some pressure is going to be put down on the bottom side of the map. Not too surprising. The dragon is going to be the next major objective on the map, and you want to have control of the area. So a little more focus from both teams on that before the Baron comes up. And it is potential soul for the Krusty Trap, who, despite having a 4K gold disadvantage, are still able to keep up. Thanks to the fact that they have those dragons. They're going to end up having those ornaments. Orin is level 14, so keep an eye out for those ornaments. It looks like Kaisa, of course, going to enhance that Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, it's pretty much every lane is at a disadvantage for the side of the Krusty Trap besides that bot lane. You know, you see the CS leads between the top side of the map, you know, Asol 242 to 191, 248 to 187, and then 251 to 144. You know, that is just an insane amount of CS. But, you know, with the plays that are happening, I feel like, you know, the Krusty Trap is getting a lot more done on the map.
That is incredibly valuable. To be fair, they are behind 3-2 towers, but those dragons are having quite an impact on the game. Speaking of dragons, it's going to be spawning too soon. Looks like Riven and Walrus are going to have a little tussle in the top lane. Ooh, Walrus going to take a lot of damage, and Riven walks out unscathed as he brings up the row to the tower. Space Walrus trying to do something, commits the call of the Forge God. Does manage to get a knock-up. You might want to clear out those minions so you can get that tower damage. Riven is going to end up taking an inhibitor tower. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, we see OT Gator trying to go through. Encore cleaves through the entire team. Alturas leading out here. Nico is going in. This is the opportunity for the Space Dragon. Seraphine Shrubby Turtle is going to get that kill. They're going to take another one for So Much Dog. And finally, Riven. That is full control. They're going to leave the Graves behind just to grab that dragon, and they're going to start moving towards the Baron, which has just respawned.
Yeah, huge encore by Shrubby Turtle. That was a 4-man. That was like, it was just so perfect because they all just happened to be in a straight line. Yeah, right there, straight in a line. Encore just gets to hit all 4 of them, and they just could not do anything. And then a really good TP by Riven player just to clean up the rest of them. So honestly, good encore by Shrubby Turtle.
I mean, this is the team fight we were talking about, right? They do have a lot of strong AoE potential, especially with the Ornn. They're also providing knockups with the Wukong able to facilitate that. And both Wukong and Nico actually able to extend the Encore's reach if they need to with their clones.
Different team.
Oh my good! I'm talking about the. Oh my goodness! I'm getting them mixed up here.
You're all
yes,
good.
My apologies. On the other side, the Encore is still useful, particularly into the Nico. Into the Nico and the Wukong because of those clones going to extend it further into their own, into the opposing team. Yes, it is Encore. I double checked. I looked it up on the internet. Also, Kaisa's Killer Instinct. We missed that one earlier. Always working on trying to get those ultimate names available. Yeah, there we go. Just confirm it for me. Thank you, production.
Production's great.
Production's great.
Oh.
Gone speed. Almost getting cut out. Force a flash. Good death sentence. Does catch out a nasty target there. There is going to be a shutdown onto that grave, so isn't going to be available for any future fights, but there are no major objectives, so that's not as bad. Killer Instinct into the back line. Tries to shut down Nico. Does end up getting the kill. Butts is going to be the second to fall. They're going to take 2 for 1 in this team fight. No, 2 for 0. They do still have that pressure advantage, though Riven is now going into the bases. Just Space Walrus coming back to answer. Somebody has to help this man out. Looks like it is going to be Godspeed coming back. Pop Blossom is committed, but this Riven is surprisingly tanky. It's going to take out Godspeed. Oh my goodness, but on the other side of the map, Inhibitor is going to be destroyed. OT, Gator, and Silva doing work on the other side of the map, forcibly forcing Riven to retreat here. Alturas, maybe not the fight you want to take. Death Sentence is going to miss. Riven is going to be backing away, and Alturas will be forced to watch.
No, watch this.
Oh, they're going to try and close in. OT Gator finds the channeling Riven. Collapsed on by Silva. Here's the follow-up. The shutdown's going to go over to Silva. Great call on that hyper carry, Kaisa.
That was huge. I saw the minimap and I was like, oh, wait. Riven player's coming in. So, yeah, really good pick by Alturas. Unfortunately, does get that shutdown. And then Silva does something really good here. Ults in to try to pick off the Nico. Wow, having a name like a champion name in the game is...
Yes,
kind of confusing.
Frustrating.
But yes, Acel goes on to the Acel, picks him up, and played it extremely well. Silva, like we said, this Masters ADC, someone who, is like a rival to Roblin, but he did fall short last season or last week, and had an incredible game this or this series.
You can say that again. That aggression is what caused the fight to turn on its head. Both backline champions assassinated there. Nico's not going to commit to a fight there. Probably doesn't want to bother with the Ornn. Looking at the map here, probably going to be Dragon next objective, and it could be Soul Point for the Krusty Trap, who is starting to close that gold lead. Actually, no, it's 5k behind despite everything. A lot of that is just the CS difference.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, the CS difference is very large and is going to be hard to deal with. I didn't even realize, but Ornn is level 17 now, somehow. Has already upgraded almost everyone on his team. I think the only one he hasn't upgraded is Mr. Alturas on the Thresh.
So much dog looking for an opening, but not able to find it. They do now have pressure on this bottom side of the map. We can see that timer is ticking down on the Dragon as both teams start to move into the area. Krusty Trap is going to have the priority here, but on the downside, they're leaving Space Walrus behind to deal with this Riven, who does have a full wave. Here comes the call. The Forge got it. So much dog here. What is he doing here? He's needed at the Dragon. Maybe they'll try and win the game. Turret is going to be destroyed. In the meantime, a fight breaks out in the bottom lane. Called, pardon, Disguised Descend. Double kill is going to go over to that Kaisa, who's doing incredibly well. They do stop the attempt. Bit of a dangerous position. So much dog takes out Space Walrus, and they are being collapsed on here by the members of the Krusty Trap. OT Gator trying to find an opening, maybe to run in to spin to win. Doesn't quite find it. A good death sentence from Alturas. Forces the flash for so much dog. Voice of Light is going to stun him up for a little moment. They do catch Riven player, going to be caught out in the backline. Silva taking so much damage, but is dominating, is able to turn it around. Nico bleeding out in health bars. OT Gator so low, so much dog is going to pick up an elimination. That's the jungler. That's huge. There's still a dragon on the map, so if so much dog wants to walk away and solo dragon, he can do that.
Wow, what a crazy fight, Riven player and so much dog were trying to go for the end play, the back door, but are unable to find it. Space Walrus just is now incredibly tanky and hard to kill. It takes him a lot longer to kill him. Meanwhile, in the bot side, there's a fight happening. They're trying to take the 4v3 or 4v4, or yeah, 4v3. Sorry, I don't know how to math very well. And Silva is so strong. 12, 2, and 5. Has fully built. So this Kaisa is hard to deal with, especially with, someone who can keep those people off him, like this Thresh, like the Nico, who has that CC.
Well, that split push turnaround has resulted in them picking up Dragon Soul. That's going to be the Mountain Soul. Baron is the call here. Mongoose are going to go ahead and do that. They are called out on a ward, so they do know what's happening. Space Walrus is in the area with a little bit of backup. Forced to back away. They don't have any vision into the area yet. Trying to find an option. There we go. They did stop the Baron. Teleport is going to be used just to get Godspeed into the area. It looks like they're going to go ahead and retreat. Walrus just going to try and clear that ward and continue the pressure on down here in the mid lane.
He's Ornn. He doesn't care that he's tanking Baron. That's just how Ornn does. He doesn't care. He just does.
Not quite a Mundo, but he's going where he pleases. That's for sure.
That's good old voice line interactions. So yeah, Rim player and So Much Dog here in the mid lane, pushing it out. They got the top tower finally after 36 minutes of play. Silver gotta be careful here by himself. OT Gator.
It is still a 6k gold lead, but that's not going to matter when you are surrounded. So Much Dog picks up so much damage. Barely survives that Riven in the backline, trying to run down Silva, who's going to just delete them. OT Gator's going to be the one to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, they lose So Much Dog on a killing spree. Encore in the backline. Silva is godlike now. The skies ascend, taking out OT Gator. Both junglers are down, but Silva is still up. Shutdown is going to go over to the Ornn, but Silva is still up and alive. The big carry for the Krusty trap. They're going to go ahead and continue to push this mid lane forward with that advantage.
Yeah, this is probably the Baron play, I think. Yeah, they're gonna
I
walk
would
around
call
Baron.
it. You have a Fed Kaisa. You have the speed to be able to take Baron without. Both junglers are dead, so there's no smite to contest.
All champions right now are basically full health, so it's probably just gonna. I think they're just gonna shove mid. SMD are probably just gonna shove mid. That way they just end the game.
Yep, that's gonna be Baron, and they're gonna hand that on over.
So yeah, really well Squire Bloom here. You know, Riven player is trying to go hard onto Silva, but is unable to find it. Shrubby Turtle does expend his TP, but is unable to find it. Silva, you know, is just so strong. He's just so hard to kill, especially with it, you know, his type of build. He has that, you know, he has that QSS. He has that Kraken Slayer. He just has so much survivability.
It feels like we've seen.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. It feels like we've seen so much over-aggression from from Savage Mongoose Dynasty. SMD just pushing forward so far ahead, and that as a result, they get their jungler caught out, and that costs them everything there. It costs them the fight. It costs them an opportunity to take out the Kaisa, and it costs them the Baron, and it's pretty soon potentially going to be costing them so much more. The Ornn down in the bot lane is going to be continuously shoving up that lane. They don't have the Aurelion Soul in the area. He's going to back. Gonna force that in order to... And this is that stage of the game where suddenly that split push turns the other way, where the Ornn is suddenly so tanky with this Mountain Soul. 3 Mountain Dragons to stack on top of that. Look at that armor.
Yeah, he is hard to kill because he has Jack-Show, which is the upgraded Jack-Show, which is incredibly strong. You know, armor. Oh,
look
he's
at that.
514
armor on that Ornn. The skies descend into the backline. Godspeed's going to take a lot of damage, but it's Silva who's legendary. We do see the Riven trying to engage with Alturas, forces them back. Here's the Pop Blossom, doesn't hit anyone. They do manage to get an elimination on the other side. Silva taking a lot of damage, but it's going to turn it around. Nico exploded. Silva will turn that double kill for Silva. They're going to go ahead and take that inhibitor, and with the Baron buff, I think that's going to be the game.
Yeah, this is going to be hard. Can Shrubby clear the wave fast enough? The Baron-empowered minion wave. No, he's just going to walk back into his fountain, recover some health. But he is just unable to do anything. And game 1 is going to go over to the Krusty trap. And wow, what a game. I mean, it was so back and forth. You know, early game SMD had that huge lead in that top side, but you know, meanwhile on the bot side, you know, Silva and Alturas are constantly creating plays, you know, getting ahead, killing the Seraphine and Morgana on repeat, you know, and it was just incredible. I think, this game for sure, Silva popped off this game.
I don't think that's even a question. I just thought it was so impressive that even despite being so far behind, the Krusty Trap still found other ways to make up for that gold deficiency, picking up those dragons, having all of the gold that needed to, all of that gold be on the champions who needed to have it, having it on that Sylvan, allowing him to carry by setting up so much protection around that composition and allowing Kaisa to be the hyper carry their team needed to be.
Yeah, I gotta give credit though to the solo lanes though. Space Ball was holding it in there. Finding that solo bolo kill onto the top lane. Killing Ribbon Player, and then like I said in the early game, getting the other solo bolo, um, Godspeed killing Nico. So really well played by the solo laner. So well, hopefully they can do that in game two. We'll be right back. Stay tuned for game two. Welcome back, everyone, to Summit Esports Game 2, the Krusty Trap versus SMD. SMD coming back, or sorry, Krusty Trap coming in and taking a win off of Savage Mongoose Dynasty. And so, pretty looking at the comps, honestly, not a whole lot of difference by Savage Mongoose Dynasty. Just traded out the Riven, the Acel, and the Morgana. But overall, still a pretty similar comp idea coming up from some Savage Mongoose Dynasty, going with that split push style. And then looking at the side of the Krusty Trap, Udyr, OT Gator is playing on that Viego, and then the Vigar. So they're looking for more of like a team fight style.
As a reminder for all of our viewers, this is Joan Glovely Clock working alongside
yeah.
Chris X-Ray White. We want to make sure that they know who's calling all the action here on the Summit Esports Premier League Season 3. These teams line up. I agree with you, very much a team fight look from the Krusty Trap, again, which I think is an excellent decision here. A lot of tools to surround that Kai'Sa with as well, so maybe more of a protect the hyper carry composition than it would appear, but they also have plenty of damage to make up just in case that Kai'Sa does go down. Riven player in the jungle here trying to harass OT Gator away from his red buff is going to be successful, and that's a pretty rough start for a Viego.
Yeah, so I mean, Viego is going to be definitely slow to start this. Space Force, though, is going to get a trade here. Ooh, I would have liked him to maybe trade a little bit more there, because I definitely think he was going to win that in the long trade, just because. Oh, he doesn't have Conquerors. Never mind. He has
Yeah, not a Conqueror champion here. Going for that durability buff there. Oh, actually doesn't get the proc. There's the proc. Look at how much damage. Maybe you don't want to go in that close, but does get the proc on the Grasp of the Undying. Ooh, lots of little procs on that Death Dance. Baseballer is playing this fast and aggressive right up in Riven player's face. Ooh, there's the Empowered R. Riven taking a ton of chip damage. This could be what turns it around. Does pop it. Flash is committed by both players. And Riven's forced to back away.
Yeah, Ghost used by Space Walrus and the Flash used by Riven player. So, gonna see how both players can adapt, and maybe the junglers will do something. So much dog though is going to get caught by the cage, and is going to have to use Flash.
Okay, Silva trying to find an opening here. Going to take a bunch of chip damage while getting plenty back onto Shrubby Turtle, who flashes away to avoid that proc. Is going to get away with his life. Space Walrus continuing to shove up on Riven player. Not a unusual playstyle for the Udyr. Great champion for being able to shove the waves with his R. Shrubby Turtle again. Oh, we see Space Walrus again. Getting a little aggressive, maybe over-aggressive here, as the Death Dance is going to proc. Parry into Space Walrus just barely has the health to make it out of there. He's going to retreat underneath the tower, probably use the teleport to get back to lane.
Alright, this is one of the times where I can point it out. Space Walrus has a CS lead. Let's see if he can, maintain it. It's really big, especially when you're going against an ex-challenger player. So, I gotta give props to him. He's playing this lane so far extremely well. Playing a lot of pressure onto Riven player with those crazy enhanced Rs.
Well, I do think just the damage that you can get on the Udyr, the sustained damage from that R, from the Phoenix Stance, puts a lot of pressure on a Riven player who is, again, does spell immune just to avoid the stun from Bear form, as he does swap forms there. Space Walrus not going to entirely commit to the Phoenix.
Yeah, looking at the mid lane CS though.
Oh, that's a great Bard skin.
The Cafe, what is it? Cafe Cuties,
Cafe
right?
Cuties, yeah, he's got a little teapot for his head. It's just adorable. He makes little cups of tea and...
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little distracted by how adorable that was with production zooming in on it, but please continue your thoughts.
Looking at the mid lane, Nico already taking that huge or that CS lead in the mid lane, and then in the jungle, you know, so much dog taking that in the jungle. So we will see what they can really do. Grubbies and the dragon are up. OT Gator is clearing out his wolves. So we'll see whether he goes to the bot side or to those grubs, because he has a lot of pressure in both his side lanes now.
It's only a little bit hurt by that early invade. Is going to, for the most part, be keeping up. I mean, it's a Graves. You're not really expecting to be able to do much in return. Look at that range advantage there. It's not really a champion you think of having a range advantage over others, but the Udyr, the empowered R, the empowered Phoenix stance, does in fact qualify as a ranged attack against that Riven, so he's able to use that to continue chipping him down. Looks like the Void Grubs are up, so they are going to go ahead and commit to that with the pressure that the Udyr has created on the map.
Actually, I think that's Savage Mongoose Dynasty that's actually going for it.
Savage Mongoose Dynasty, thank you.
Nope,
Thank
you're
you. I
good.
thought I saw the Udyr moving down to the area to help, and sometimes I just can't keep the team straight. Pit Riposte is going to be used to no effect. Doing a great job playing around those, so good job to Walrus there, but it is going to be so much dog. Oh no, actually, Dragon is going to be taken on the other side of the map, so they do end up giving up the Void Grubs in exchange for the Ocean Dragon, which will be great to prevent any additional healing from their poke, and granting them some back for their bot lane.
I think that's a really smart play, though, from the side of the Trusty Crap, the Krusty Trap. Sorry, you know, they were taking the grubs, and
Ooh, that was the bear stance. Here's the grand challenge. Space Walrus, biting off more than you can chew. That's going to be first blood over to Fiora. You have to watch out for that level 6 power spike.
Yeah, that was really well played by Riven player, able to pick up that little the R passive.
Ooh, no, Godspeed! Does get away, forced to use the primordial... no, what's the name of that ability? The E. Primordial Burst is the ultimate. I need Event Horizon. There we go. Thank you, production, for the reminder. Oh my goodness, so much dog. Walks around the corner and presses the collateral damage button. It's going to take out Godspeed. One Vagar elimination.
Yeah, well played by So Much Dog coming in behind, cleaning up Godspeed. Alters and Silva thinking that the Graves is in the jungle, but are not going to find him as he did walk down to his bot side. So yeah, no objectives here for another 2 minutes. I'd like to see OT Gator probably be more proactive in this bot lane, although it is going to be kind of hard just because of how Shrubby Turtle and Bunts are playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on that bottom side of the map, although we can see pressure being answered in return. Altura is taking a ton of damage there as a result of getting caught out. There is a pretty hard CC combo that they have in that bottom lane, but it's pretty hard to use it sometimes when they're constantly being shoved underneath the tower and don't really have the option to use Bard's great roaming capabilities. I've had the same thing happen to myself here in Summit Esports.
Yeah, Riven player now is just going to apply a freeze here. Nico trade.
Ooh, hostile takeover. They do manage to trade it out there. Flash is going to be committed from Shrubby Turtle just because they are so scared of that Kai'Sa after game 1, and I don't blame them.
Alturas missed the Renata ability.
Event Horizon committed. OT Gator trying to do something for his mid laner. Godspeed going to take a pretty healthy chunk there of his health. It's like they're not going to be able to turn things around. Event Horizon is not available. There's the engage. Nico takes out Godspeed. And it's going to be protected by So Much Dog, who's coming in from the side. OT Gator. Oh my goodness, the damage. Collateral damage is going to pick up that elimination on the backside. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Spaceball is continuing to put pressure on Riven player. There's the grand challenge. Getting those vital procs and the healing. Riven player underneath the turret will even survive to boot.
Wow. Riven player. Well played. You know, was looking like a really bad fight for Riven player, but is able to heal. Does have that Vampiric Scepter, plus the Vital Healing. So really well played by Riven player, hitting all those vitals.
Could be bad. Teleports being used to get Udyr back to the lane. Another teleport being used by Riven player. Doesn't get caught out, manages to get away with his life at the cost of a teleport. So no teleport advantage is going to be available.
I think that's pretty smart by Riven player. So yeah, in the mid lane, Nico here
Just
does
a
pop
replay.
our flash EQ for the damage. Or, sorry, just flash E and then an auto. That was really well played. And then so much dog coming in with the Gravesard, just cleaning them up.
Yeah, no need to use the call of the pack if you don't have to. Speaking of which, Nico is going to be forced to back away. But we do have the re-engage from the team. Godspeed, unfortunately, going to be caught out again. This Veigar having a hard time staying safe. Nico will pick that up. To be fair, you are playing that into an assassin, and that can be obnoxious at times. Alturas takes a pretty healthy tower chunk there as a result of that tower shot. Void Grubs are going to go ahead and go over here. Nico continuing to pressure OT Gator, not really letting him get out of the lane. Space Walrus taking a huge chunk as this Fiora is starting to scale something fierce.
Yeah.
Oh, grand challenge again. Are you going to pick a fight under the tower? Are you going to get away with it? No, that's not happening. Shut down. Space Walrus going to turn that around. Greedy tower dive. Call of the pack is used. OT Gator does manage. No! Nico on a killing spree. They do end up picking up the kills. On the bottom side of the map, Silva picks up the Shrubby, trying to pick up Shrubby Turtle. Turris is going to fall. It's 1 versus 4, and Silva, not that strong, tries to use the killer instinct to get away. Nico on a rampage. This is a terrifying assassin. It is going to get stopped. Call of the pack going to be blocked by that event horizon, but it is going to be a dragon going over to the Mongoose.
Wow, just a lot of hiding this game. Huge R. Arturos and Silva say, oh man, we are in a bad position. Let's try to get a return kill real quick. Silva trying to go onto Shrubby Turtle, but just unable to do enough damage. R's in, tries to hit the cube, but the Nefiri Bleed is just too strong and able to pick them up. So yeah, right now it's not looking too good for the Krusty Trap, but you know, there's definitely still a way into this game. It's just you do scale with the Kai'Sa, with the Veigar. You know, it's now just about scaling. How well can you scale into this later stages of the game?
Well, we are going to go ahead and start moving into the mid-game stage of the map, as that first tower is going to fall there in the mid lane. We also have an Infernal Rift, so that tells us one thing's for sure. There's going to be tons of damage on this rift as these Infernal Drakes start picking up. Looks like there's going to be an engage attempt on the bottom lane. Magical Journey, they managed to stun Kai'Sa. Silva forced the flash to get away. Alturas, his health bar is bleeding out, only half health remaining. Good shield to try and keep himself alive, but so much dog on a killing spree, going to pick that one up for himself.
Yeah, right now, Savage Mongoose Dynasty have all the cards right now, just able to create plays and get stuff done around the map. Savage Mongoose.
Bad spot. OT Gator is watching in the backline, so it does look like they might be aborting this dive. Maybe they're just preparing. There's the channel. They don't have the stun. Nico's in the back lines to support. OT Gator gets caught by the Encore, and Silva gets exploded by so much dog on a rampage. Is going to get shut down by OT Gator. It's going to try and turn things around. Looks like the team is here to support. OT Gator stays alive with a bailout of all things. Godspeed is going to take butts out, and that just leaves one more. Shrubby Turtle going to get caught out by OT Gator, and a tower dive goes wrong.
Wow. Really well played by OT Gator there. You know, getting that triple kill. Still has the flash. I thought he used flash there. No, he didn't even use flash.
Yeah, keep an eye out here.
Yeah, so much dog just tanking tower. Ults in, hits the Q. Is unable to hit, but Alturas with the bailout hits Nico. And now Butts is just a little bit too far. And then yeah, and then the rest is history with Shrubby Turtle.
Yeah, really big bail out there. So great call from Arcturus to try and keep his jungler alive. And that's going to start evening that goal difference between them. Space Walrus still getting harassed a bit underneath this tower. It's really hard to handle the Riven, especially when you've got something like that. It looks like also pressure in the bottom side. They are going to take out that bottom lane turret. But then we see Bard here watching over the wall. When's the moment for the magical journey? It looks like they're going to call it off.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good of a play here. Excuse me, sorry. I don't think it's that good of a play here just because of how tanky he is right now. You know, does have that Bramble Vest with that, I don't even know what that other item is called. The other armor one. Can't think of what it's called. But this he does have the Sheen, so he's not exactly easy to kill because he does have that ton of armor. Fjord is all AD, has finished that Ravenous Hydra. So yeah, I think I'd like to see...
Oh, Godspeed.
Ooh.
Rooted in place, drops the event horizon. Actually commits the Tempered Fate there, which is interesting, but Shrubby Turtle's going to be the one to pick up the kill. We do see Space Walrus trying to answer, walks into a grand challenge, pops all 4 vitals in the background. Here's the engagement. OT Gator doesn't manage to get the stun, tries for the Heartbreaker. Riven player flashes away. They're going to go ahead and clear that ward, keep the Udyr alive, but that's grand challenge and Heartbreaker committed in that engagement. In the meantime, we can see just getting a little control there around that Bear ward as pressure continues to mount in the bot lane. They summon the Rift Herald.
Yeah, really well played by Riven player. I think Space Walrus just went in a little bit too early and just falls short. Lives, but he is unable to participate in the fight further.
Well, I do pick up a Herald off of that. Dragon should be spawning soon, as indicated by the timers on your screen. Keep an eye out for where the junglers are. So much dog sticking his nose out. We'll try and shave off a little from the health bars, especially off of Silva. That is a champion that needs to be shut down as often as possible. Riven bleeding health bars over the wall. Fiora forced away. Follow the pack on to Gator in the back lines. Nico trying to get the elimination, but OT Gator survives. Able to follow up. So much dog chasing after Godspeed. The Veigar in a very bad spot all on his own is going to get exploded. Godspeed down. It's now 3 versus 4. They do a hostile takeover, get some damage onto the back line. Space Walrus trying to find an opportunity. Encore through all 3 members. OT Gator finally coming back to the fight, but too little too late. Alturas gets exploded. Lockdown in the Tempered Fate. Bailout's not going to get him alive. That's going to be a dragon over for sure. And in the whole time, Riven player up on the top side, taking down this tower.
Yeah, Riven player saw that Space Walrus was walking down to the fight and was like, okay, I got time to split push. And like we said at the start of the game, this is what Savage Mongoose Dynasty want to do, is just split push. And so far, they're executing it perfectly, you know. Riven player sees that their bot or their top laner is walking down to the team fight, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna try to get this tower. So I mean, really well played by Riven player and Savage Mongoose Dynasty, and we see the play. So really good Renata R here, but really good encore. Hits all 3 members, and Butts is just auto attacking Silva and Alturas. And yeah, and right now, it's really hard to see the Krusty trap a way back into this game. It's just how long can they stall out, you know, stop the bleeding to the best of their ability to try to get to these later stages of the game. Get this Silva with more items and more gold.
It isn't completely hopeless. It is a now 7k gold lead in favor of the Mongoose. But there are still opportunities. We do see the engagement up onto the top side. Space Walrus going to be able to back away. Nico, though, taking half of his health. Let's get a stun over the wall, trying to engage. Not going to find an opening. Space Walrus now 1 versus 3. There's no tower for protection. He's probably going to go down here. It's going to survive for a long time. Nico's going to be the one to pick up the KO. Going to be help is on the way, but it's spotted out and it's too little too late for that turret. Going to be a 3 versus 3 engage here if we have people in the right position. Silva trying to find an opening. They do look for a stun. They don't find it onto Nico. Hostile takeover does berserk the Brave for just a moment. Here's the TP into the back line. It's Riven player in the back line. OT Gator commits the Heartbreaker. Meanwhile, Silva just trying to get away from this Riven is not able to find an opportunity. Alturas is going to go down as well. That team fight did not go the way they needed it to go.
Yeah, Godspeed versus the whole team of Savage Mongoose Dynasty. It's going to be hard. Space Walrus is up, though, so he is able to help defend. And yeah, this is going to be a 21-minute Baron here. Coming up for Savage Mongoose Dynasty.
With that objective to spawn, they have all the free time in the world with OT Gator dead. And they're just going to go ahead, pick that up, and continue to mount the pressure. And when we talk about pressure, we're usually talking about just the top lane, that champion role where your entire job is to draw pressure up towards you and away from the rest of the map. But it feels like the entire team knows how to handle the macro of being able to create pressure, to draw people to these positions. And they're picking out members of the Krusty Trap, oh my goodness. Krusty Trap, who are not able to find opportunities to fight as a full team. Look, they continue getting caught out, 3v3, 2v3, 3v4. They need to be able to fight as a group, but they're not able to do that because of the Fiora on the other side of the map. OT Gator, unfortunately, missing his stun. Gonna get caught in the Tempered Fate. That could be rough. Do pop out at the end of the line. So much Dog actually forced to flash backwards as Walrus trying to collapse from behind, but it looks like his team is retreating in a bit of an awkward spot. Does get the stun down, but it's going to take too much damage to continue. Bit of a miscommunication there. Meanwhile, Riven player continuing in the top lane to shove, aided by this Baron buff. Able to go in and retreat as they please.
Yeah, I mean, Space Walrus KG thought the play was to go in. Oh no, Godspeed is in another trouble here. Godspeed trying to live. So much Dog, though, is just going to auto-attack him. And
collateral damage, maybe a bit much there. We do see the hostile takeover. Oh my goodness, double kill for So Much Dog. Graves is going to go down, so that will be a shutdown for OT Gator, but he'll get immediately exploded in a response call of the pack over the wall. Sylvia in a bad spot is going to get taken down as well. Double kill for Nico. They're going to go ahead and take this turn the whole time. Riven player is pushing in the top lane, and Space Walrus trying his best. But it is a 1 versus 4, and I don't think this champion has the damage. Not when he's building full tank.
No, I would say not. 23 minutes, 24-6. Savage Mongoose Dynasty looking in command of this game. There's no chance. I mean, there's definitely a chance. There's
always a chance.
There's always a chance. This is
Game's
Summit.
not over until the Nexus falls.
Surely.
And this is a
right?
team fight composition, right? Like, you get them all together, you get them all in the position that they need to be in. I will admit, though, things do look awfully dire. Your 80 carry is down, several kills. That's going to be 3rd dragon potentially over to the Mongoose. Looks like they're just going to have to give it up. They don't have vision on the area, and they don't have any ability to contest, so they're going to let that go.
Yeah, this is... Oh
no, that's a bad spot to get caught in. Alturas exploded. Not able to respond at all to that.
Yeah, I mean... 4 versus 5, oh no, they don't have bear buff. Oh, Nico's gonna go in here?
Event Horizon prevents some of the engage, but not all of it. Godspeed going down. Nico dominating here. They're going to go ahead and pick up a 3rd inhib for themselves. All 3 inhibs are down. And all of the members of the Krusty Trap. Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
The Krusty Trap are doing their best. One's going to go down. There's the engagement onto the back line. They do try a hostile takeover over into the team, but that's not going to be enough. That is going to be game 2 in favor of the Savage Mongoose Dynasty.
Wow, what a game. I mean, I don't think there's much to say about the game. I mean, Savage Mongoose Dynasty just had full control of the game. The Krusty Trap, fell short this series, but maybe they can come back in game three and find a way to take back the win.
Well, we'll see exactly what ends up going on here. They did prove why they could leave the Kaisa on the field. A lot of great flanking plays as well, just from teleports or good positioning. We'll see how things turn out in game three, but for now, we're going to go ahead and pass it on over to a break while we wait for the word on game three.
Welcome back, Summit Esports. I am Chris X-Ray White. Joining me on the cast, Joan Glovely Clock. Welcome back, and we're starting off with a banger. Already.
Oh, that's just a really solid death sentence. You always have to expect some sort of engage like that. Welcome everybody to a very explosive start to this game. Summit Esports Premier League Season 3. We have Savage Mongoose Dynasty taking on the Krusty Trap.
Yeah. That was a very interesting intro to this game. The Crush Trap falling short in game 2, but already coming back with a vengeance. Spaceball is definitely going to feel pretty good with that start in that top side.
Pick composition. Oh no. Butts doesn't know, doesn't see. Does throw a Q over the wall just to check, and followed by a mystic shot, but it looks like he and Ezreal are going to back. Oh, excuse me. Getting my hiccups out. Are going to back away here. So they're going to go ahead and steal that red buff. Graves on the other side is just going to pick up the other one in response. As the Vi continuing to put pressure here on this bottom side of the map, trying to take away as many camps from the Graves. He's just going to go ahead and do the parallel jungling thing on the other side. Another death sentence ends up missing from Alturas. We are getting into game 3 and the action is already intense. Fiora putting down 2 procs of the the duelist dance onto the Warwick in that top side of the map.
There's so many dancing things.
No, the death dance, the duelist dance, the well, we're going to talk about another death-related thing. The death sentence is going to catch Butts out. He'll take a little bit of chip. Looks like they're not going to be having enough to follow up on. Space Walnut taking so much damage from this Fiora. The duelist dance procs tearing through his health bar in the early stages of the game. He will be a lot more able to sustain as the Warwick. The passive healing from his auto attacks will help up make the difference that he didn't have as an Udyr in the previous game. Oh, Nico maybe caught a little far forward. OT Gator in the backside watching, but both junglers are there. Alturas is going to miss that death sentence, unfortunately, in the bot side. It's like just kind of a lot of poke this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard. Ooh, little chunk there in the top lane. So yeah, Spaceballs, I want to take a note at the ruins this game for Spaceballs is the Conqueror. I would have rather seen him go with like that lethal tempo. That's how like normal Warwick top is played. And also Hail of Blades for OT Gator, which I think the standard build right now is Conqueror, I believe. I will fact check myself.
Gonna get stunned up by his own howl, forced to flash away. Will stay alive, but gonna be giving up probably 2 summoner spells for that.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Once again, you know, Silva is looking to create that lead. Is on the Aphelios this game, so is going to be able to scale later into this stage. Space Wars. Oh.
I'm gonna go in, does get the fear off this time. Riposte a bit late. Good chunk down, does slow the Warwick. Like Space Walnut's gonna have to give up for now. Doesn't have quite enough speed from the Blood Hunt.
Yeah, I mean Space Walrus is really strong right now with that kill. You know, he does have that double longsword. Fiora though is unfortunately does have that CS lead now and is able to match that double longsword lead now. So you know, Space Walrus is just gonna have to be a little careful, be able to dodge those. Parry coming out from River Player. Otherwise, pretty standard start from both junglers. The objectives are spawning here.
Bit of pressure on the bot side. Magical Journey almost takes him into OT Gator.
Yeah, Grubs and the Dragon are spawned, both junglers though, in the bot side.
Oh no. That Fear is going to catch the Fiora. Space Walrus might have bitten off more than he could choose. Riven Player is chewing through his health bar. The dance of the duelist goes down. We also see an engage in the mid lane. Nico forced to flash away from OT Gator.
Yeah, well played by Nico there, having to use his flash to get away. So much dog.
He'll be fine. Does manage to use the Vault Breaker to get over the wall, so OT Gator will be safe for now. Good job protecting his jungle and keeping it safe from the invade.
Yeah, really well done. Both objectives are still up. Junglers are just going to clear their raptors. Nico looking for a play, though, here.
Maybe you're trying to find some sort of advantage before you want to be taking major objectives. Walrus does use the fear to try and force the Fiora away from the tower. Godspeed caught out. Nico gonna take a whole bunch of damage. Oh my goodness, but Butts will take Godspeed. And Nico almost gets out. Death sentence is gonna be what turns it around from Alturas.
Good flash by Alturas there to pick up the return kill, making it a 1-for-1. And then the Krusty Trap getting the grubs here. So well done, making plays happen around the map. That is what the Krusty Trap want, to get plays done. And, you know, Silva is just in the bot lane, farming up, just getting that gold. It's going to be that late game insurance for the Krusty team.
Getting that mid lane priority was so important for that play. Space Walnut going to take a huge chunk of damage, but heal it back up with his Q. Does have the fear available. Watch the back lines. There's a Vi down there in the jungle nearby. Probably not going to go there. More likely to commit to this mid lane. Is going to be spotted out on that red ward there in the pixel brush. So not going to commit to that.
Yeah, really well done by you know, Savage Mongoose Dynasty, making sure they're not totally losing out on everything. So Much Dog is still farming up, but they are in a good position to do this dragon. Riven Player, though, is still extending that lead in the top side, have a large CS lead. Space Rollers got to be careful here. There is a ginormous wave about to push under his tower. Silver and Ultras.
Here, there's the Death Sentence underneath the tower. Butts is taking a bit of poke damage here. Forced to back away. Silva is also forced to back away. Alturas does have that Dark Passage just in case he needs to get out of there, but it doesn't look like they're going to commit so much dog to the gank. Pressure is starting to mount on this bottom side of the map as both junglers are present in the area. Godspeed getting poked out in that mid lane. Nothing quite happening yet. It's been a very calm game, all things considered.
Yeah, game 3s are always really nerve-wracking because you want to get those points for your team.
Oh, Godspeed getting slowed down, taking a lot of damage. Perfect execution by Nico. Takes out Godspeed. That's going to be an elimination right before the dragon. OT Gator is currently on it with Alturas, but Butts and So Much Dog are both here. They might be going for a steal over the wall. OT Gator trying to do enough. No, it's going to be a steal! Steal over the wall. Braves is going to jump out and take that away. Bit of a turnabout. Nico is going to go down as well. Space Walrus blowing them up in the mid lane is going to get blown up in exchange by So Much Dog. Meanwhile, Silva trying to get away. Death Sentence does not connect. That is going to end up being a trade there, but the Monkeys easily come out on top with the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, really well done by both teams. You know, OT Gator thinking that they can just secure it, and OT Gator is going to fall there.
So Much Dog has been putting out so much damage in these games. This Graves is absolutely insane with the amount of DPS that it's been putting out. He's going to go ahead and pick up that scuttle there.
Who gave this man Graves again?
Seriously, the Graves, the Fiora, like, were they watching their last game? Why are these champions still available? Do they really think that what they're banning away was worse? Godspeed does try to answer here into Nico. Doesn't have quite enough damage to get the Tricky Ninja off of the tower. He's going to force him away eventually by clearing the way.
It's pretty interesting that the Fear made the Kali run towards the Vex instead of away. If anyone noticed that, I noticed it, but that was pretty interesting. Space Walrus, though, getting in a little tussle here. Does proc the Warwick E to have damage reduction.
I'll be safe for a moment. Silva off on his own, is surrounded. Does manage to dodge the stun, but does not manage to dodge the Tempered Fate. That's probably going to be a lockup. Commits the flash. Flash follow up from Shrubby Turtle trying to do something. Silva actually putting a ton of damage, turns it around. Shrubby Turtle. And there's the hook on the backside. Death Sentence catches him out. Silva is trying to follow. There's the magical journey through the wall. They do get a stun. But's trying to get the kill onto Silva, but it's not going to be enough with the tank in front.
Wow.
Silva turns it around.
Wow, what a play by Silva. Space Rollers commits
Speaking
the
of
R.
plays, up in the top lane, Riven player taking a bit more than they could choose.
Oh my
Space Walrus
gosh.
is going to take that. That's turned around. It's going to go ahead and pick up that elimination there. Let's go ahead and have a replay of that bottom lane
So yeah,
play.
Silva flashes, dodges the R. Shrubby Turtle thinks he's good, does take that tower shot, commits the R. Silva, though, is just able to heal, has that fleet footwork, and a crazy hook by Alturas picks up the Bard. Sorry, I was going to say the
Fleet
Butts.
work in more than one way. We do see Alturas and Butts running into each other. They may decide to commit. It's in a bad situation, but for whom? OT Gator over the back of the wall, but it looks like Alturas is caught out. They do commit the perfect execution. So Much Dog is on a killing spree now as they pick it up.
But yeah, Space Rollers, I mean, throwing the R was crazy to me, because I thought at first he was just like, oh, he's going in maybe to do a trade, but then River player walked into tower range. I think he did parry it, but Space Rollers was just able to just do enough damage to get the return kill.
Oh,
in the top lane.
Godspeed. Poor buddy. There goes the Tempered Fate. There goes his fate, which is to die. So Much Dog going to pick up another elimination. This Graves 4-0-0. Space Walrus trying to find an opening here, but not going to have the option. Looks like he is just going to go ahead and clear the wave.
Yeah, Godspeed has just had a really tough last two games. You know, he's just getting kind of focused. These Bard roams are incredibly strong. You know, Butts is that Bard one trick. He's done it incredibly well. Meanwhile,
Ooh, Shrubby Turtle underneath the tower. They do commit an ultimate from the Aphelios. That's the... Oh, Nico's going to take out Alturas, and OT Gator on the back line is going to be taken out by the Shrubby Turtle arcane shot.
okay, just to make sure, there was no minion wave there, right? I'm not crazy. They just kind of went for that play. Okay, gotcha.
I mean, they were a little shoved up underneath the tower, but I mean, they thought they were in good position. They didn't realize that there was so much there in the back line. Cease and Desist committed for that dive as well, so that's going to be on cooldown for a while. Oh no, Godspeed. You gotta know this is coming, buddy. You gotta know there's 3 people in the area. We see the dragon will be spawning here soon. And Krusty Trap are just not in the area.
Interesting. I don't know how much I love that dive play coming out from the Krusty Trap. Silva and Alturas looking to maybe stop this, but Butts with the portal able to get out.
Second dragon, the Inferno blazes on the rift. That's going to be shredding apart some of those obstacles, including the brush. And also put all kinds of all those little flares around the rift, so we'll see a little bit more addition to the roaming that's been happening already. Space Walrus trying to find an engagement. So Much Dog is caught out alone. Silva not able to follow up. Looks like Space Walrus is going to commit both ultimate and flash just to try and get away. Perfect execution does follow up, but does not get the execution.
There's so much happening. Cross map play is happening. But really well done. Ooh!
Death Sentence from the bush. Great play by Alturas. They're going to go ahead and pick up Shrubby Turtle on the backside of that. OT Gator tries to find an opening here. Is not able to completely keep the rivet off. We'll just try and clear the wave. Enough excessive force will do it.
I gotta give Alturas props. This series,
no.
he has had some incredible hooks coming out for the Thresh. I mean, like, he's hitting some of these crazy hooks that I'm not expecting him to hit, but he just does it anyways.
Power
Like that
down! Bard's caught out! Does get caught on the death sentence. Alturas is going to be stunned against the wall. He will be forced to back away. They do end up using the Ignite. Nico on the back lines. We do have an assassin ready to assassinate. Alturas is in an awful spot. Silva doing his best to put the damage down, but he is 1 versus 3 at most. He might be able to take out Shrubby Turtle. Does not have flash. He will go down. Shut down over to Nico, and this Akali is ripping through the back lines.
Yeah, it's a Nico and so much Dog's game right now. They just have complete control of the map. They're at every play. They're making stuff happen on their teams. And their team is in the lead right now, sitting at a 1K or 1.5K gold lead. So hopefully they can maintain that.
A lot of that is...
Dragon spawning here in 3 minutes.
A lot of that lead is going to be due to kills, as we do see an engagement here, though, from Space Walrus. Does decide to just force the grand challenge and back away, which, when you're in an advantageous position like that, probably the right call. Warwick is a champion that doesn't scale very well into the later stages of the game, so that Fiora will eventually outscale, but forcing the Fiora to back, to use resources to get off the map, to not be split pushing, is still ideal for them. OT Gator going to be taking a little bit of chip. So Much Dog is caught out by the Cease and Desist. There's the Tempered Fate, but not enough to save the Graves. Shut down. Now Shrubby Turtle might be caught out. They go for the engage. Neither finds their mark. OT Gator taking a big chunk, but will get out with the Dark Passage. Slay tries to find a target. Riven player takes a lot, but Alturas is backing up. Perfect execution. Does find one Nico on a rampage. So that is going to be 2 eliminations for the side of the Mongoose.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, I think there's... really well done by the Krusty Trap finding the kill onto the Graves, getting the shutdown. But then OT Gator just goes a little too hard in the state, but luckily Alturas does have that hook. But Nico just so strong right now, has that Lich Bane completed and working on. I'm pretty sure that Shadow Flame has a fully stacked Dark Seal. So
those are Shadow Flame components, all right.
Yeah, so he is going to be dangerously strong. Like, they need to find him and pick him in almost every fight before any major objective.
It's so hard because, like, looking at their team composition, the way they were playing before, it was a very much a protect the hyper carry kind of composition. It worked with the Kaisa the first time around. It didn't quite work the second time. Aphelios doesn't have the same in-combat mobility as the Kaisa, and the team that they've drafted doesn't really have, like, a proper frontline tank. Both the Vi and the... Okay, another Bard skin. It's a great one. I'm sorry. I really love this one in particular. This is my Bard skin of choice, the Winter Wonderland. These little mugs of hot cocoa. It's so cute. And the penguins? Look at those penguins. Tempered Fate comes out, does manage to catch a lockdown. Sylvia is going to manage to flash away. There's the Cease and Desist onto the backline. So Much Dog is down. That's a jungler taken away just in time for the dragon to spawn. That could be opportune. Alturas tries to find a death sentence onto a target. Meanwhile, Riven is up in the top lane, taking on that tower there, and instead a teleport up there. Vex will deal with that, hopefully soon. Spell immune, thanks to that riposte, and will take the turret down. There's the grand challenge, trying to turn something around as that dragon does go over. Godspeed, unfortunately, having such a rough game.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Godspeed definitely just trying to maintain and keep his team alive for the most part, trying to look for some plays. You know, still has the three assists and is definitely still a problem for the side of SMD. You know, that fear is incredibly strong, especially when you get in the middle of 4 or 5 of the team.
Yeah, a lot of range in that back line with the dives. With the dive ability in the back, and does disrupt a ton of mobility, which you can see there's a ton of on the side of the Mongoose.
Yeah, and I just looked it up, but Warwick's actually favored in the Fiora matchup, and I didn't know that. Yeah, so
I'm gonna remember this for my solo queue games because people like to play Fiora into me, and I'm tired of having to play Garen into them. So I'll give Warwick a try. speaking of Warwick being favored in the matchup, oh, Tempered Fate doesn't find a target, almost stops the Riven. It looks like in this 2 versus 1, he does commit the infinite duress, but it's going to be Warwick under duress. That's a shutdown over to the Fiora.
Clever pun. Yeah, I saw you slide in there. But in the mid lane, they are getting this mid tower here, and that's a pretty good return. You know.
Ooh, good death sentence. They find a target. Shrub Eternal not able to commit Alturas, maybe a little bit too far out. Commits the flash, drops the box. Going to use that for disengage. Nico on the back line does get caught in both the death sentence and the play. Not going to be enough to take him down in the back line. Cease and desist is happening as the fight splits up into 2 pieces. OT Gator in a bad spot. Shutdown does end up going over to So Much Dog, who survives these low bleeding health bars.
Man, SMD is lived by a hairstring Riven player. Nico barely getting out there.
Ooh, Silva maybe picking a fight here with So Much Dog. Teleport's going to be coming in as Silva's forced to retreat with Godspeed. Looks like Nico is going to be the choice. Now fully healed thanks to that teleport. Commits the flash. Godspeed just trying to get out. Is going to do so. They now have backup in the form of a Warwick, who does have extra speed towards Riven player. Gonna clear that out, grab a hold of some vision in the bottom side of the map. No dragon up yet, but we'll be watching for that Infernal.
So yeah, this basically becomes 2-5. OT Gator is going on to Riven player. Meanwhile, Godspeed and Silva are just trying to kind of survive the Nico but Shrubby combination, but are unable to find a return kill, and So Much Dog comes in and saves Riven player.
Feels like a little bit of a disconnect going on there, just from the from the fact that they're going in different directions, that they're splitting up across the map. The team really does need to be either strong enough to be able to pick off the targets, or they need to be able to retreat as a team.
Yeah, I definitely feel that it seems a little bit of a miscommunication, like if we're fighting or we're going or trying to get out. Alturas' back is going to get stopped there.
Oh, Space Walrus finds butt, gets exploded by the Q. Looks like he's not going to be sticking around here. Warwick did take some chip damage, but this is Warwick. He'll go ahead and get that off. So Much Dog caught out by the cease and desist and a death sentence, and that will be his death sentence as Silva now tries to go on down. They did just eliminate the jungler, and hey, guess what? It's past 20 minutes. You know what time it is? It's Baron time.
It's Baron time. Yeah, really well done. You know, So Much Dog unable to like catch, or did not have the ward. Teleport's going to be used here. Godspeed is TPing in.
But ensure that they have control of the area. Tempered Fate comes in, does pause the jungler, but they're going to go ahead and smite it anyway. Red team picks that up. The Krusty trap, going to be happy to have that one.
Yeah, and 30 seconds here for the Dragon. So Much Dog is up. Dragon is up in 15 seconds. Space Rollers did go to the top side. Does have TP though. Does have the TP advantage.
She's going to be pretty big with that Fiora there. Does not have any form of CC to stop a teleport. Looks like he is going to go ahead and go back to base. Does still have the teleport available, but it looks like his team has pretty solid control of the area. Graves is So Much Dog is going to just go ahead and shove up that mid lane. Looks like they're just going to give it up. Second Infernal Drake over to the Krusty trap.
I like this build that Space Swallows has gone with. He had first bought the Titanic and now has the Bork. So this Bork is a incredibly strong item just because it slows them and drains a lot of their health. But it's just really good into Fiora just because she's unable to like really do anything, and it chunks her a lot. It chunks pretty much any person who you're playing against.
Okay, but also, every time you say it, you get to sound like the Swedish chef from the Muppets. Bork, bork, bork.
Oh.
I thought it was funny.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen the Muppets in a very long time.
Oh dear, I feel old now. Really? We're gonna catch these thieves
Also,
red-handed. What
I
color are their hands
I don't actually
now?
think I ever saw the Muppets. I think I was Elmo. I don't think I was
Oh
ever the
my
Muppets.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna
Uh,
have to fix that. I'm gonna
th-
grab you some point this week and we're gonna watch the Muppet movie because you need to see it.
I've
My
actually
gripes aside about the severe lack of Kermit the Frog in this caster
I
booth,
love
we
Kermit
are
the
still
Frog
in
though.
game. We are still in game here, as the gold lead is starting to even out here. Still a slight lead for the Mongoose, but nowhere near as much of a lead as they had. Dragons are even, but two Infernals on one side as opposed to a Hex Tech and a Mountain on the other tells you where the damage is at. Riven player tries to
Oh.
go in aggressive with a Grand Challenge, gets a
Oh.
ton of healing. Space Walnut takes a lot of damage, but Riven player is forced to retreat. The Space Walnut just walks over to the wave, presses a few buttons, and heals up his whole health bar, because that's the Warwick way. Space Walrus, thank you. Um, Space Warwick is what I should be calling him in this game. But we do see Nico trying to maybe get a pick here. Godspeed caught in a 2 versus 1 scenario, goes in with the fear, teleport being committed. There's the tempered fate, but it's tempered late. Double kill goes over to Silva. Butts is now trying to close in, not able to get there. Silva pops the ghost. They're just trying to get through, but the magical journey will lead him along the way. Alturas is not going to be able to follow along, but they do have the minion wave coming along. They'll be able to take out that tower without the pressure. Meanwhile, Riven player going to answer in kind on the other side, take a tower for their team. Looks like they do have those Void Grub bonuses, and they're going to use those to take themselves an inhibitor. Don't think they stick around. I don't think that would be the wise thing, in my opinion. Looks like they're going to follow my own advice because they are definitely listening in, right? Are going to go ahead and back out.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's the Krusty Trap are playing exceptionally well. They're playing textbook game.
Oh,
Nico,
Nico trying to assassinate the back line. Here comes the TP. Godspeed does end up get taken out by Shrubby Turtle with an arcane barrage over the wall. OT Gator in a dangerous position. Oh, Alturas. Oh, Alturas does use the flash to get over the wall to avoid being caught out. Looks like OT Gator will survive as well. Tries for the death sentence. Hooks a chicken instead of so much dog. Looks like they are going to have to retreat.
I think, I think that was the plan. Hook the chicken. That's my guess, though. But yeah, I mean, the Krusty Trap are playing textbook right now. They're playing the objectives. They find a good fight, and then they just push down mid lane, get the tower, and now the inhibitor is broken. So now I'd like to see Space Walrus maybe go on that bot side. Excuse me, and then everyone else going to that top side, or sorry,
Well,
vice versa. Just because Dragon here is spawning here in about 50 seconds.
well, that Baron buff is still... Oh, no, never mind. Baron has expired at this point. As they're starting to do setup in the area. They have the Warwick down in the bot lane, just trying to keep things shoved up. Space Walrus doing okay. Gonna walk into So Much Dog, misses the infinite duress. So Much Dog is just gonna dash out. He knows the problem, but you can't dash away from a Vi. He's gonna commit everything he can just to try and survive. Nico dominating. Temper Fate just come out, catches two, but it's just Alturas. Red turret is going to go down as the Fiora is on the bottom side of the map. Things are dangerous. There's the engage. Double kill. Shut down as well for Godspeed, turning it around. But this whole time, Riven player is in the back line. This could be incredibly dangerous if they don't send someone back to deal with it. OT Gator is going to take some damage. Looks like they are going to send Godspeed back to try and deal with it. OT Gator not able to close the gap. But looks like Butts will turn around a little bit. Is he going to commit to it? Yes, he'll go ahead and get the kill. But oh my goodness, Rivet player is going to end the game. Godspeed trying to do something about it, but it's not going to be enough. That is going, the fear, that is going to be a backdoor. Game goes to the Mongoose.
Wow, that's how it ended. The classic. We talked about it in every single game. Their whole team comp was let's split push. They had the Fiora, they had the Riven, and finally, Riven players able to find that juicy nexus
You gotta answer the top lane. I love it when you have the pick composition. I love it when you have the ability to commit to strong team fights against these split pushes. But you have to have somebody to answer the split pusher. There always needs to be an answer. And in this case, they commit their Warwick to the fight. They commit him to the bot lane and end up missing out as the Fiora heads up to the top and finishes the game.
Yeah, really well done for Savage Mongoose Dynasty. They are now sitting. Oh, I am being told we may have an interview. Uh, who are we getting, Mr. Production? We are bringing on Mr. Butts, the Bard enthusiast. Let's bring him in here. Let's see how he feels about the game. Welcome, Butts. How are you doing,
Greetings,
sir?
Mr. Butts.
How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. So, honestly, first off, how does it feel to get your one trick? 2 games in a row.
I mean, that feels pretty good. Like obviously it feels a lot worse into Thresh than it does into Renata, but no, I mean, finally after 3 seasons, play my one trick. I had a lot of fun doing that shit. So
Yeah,
shoes stuff.
nice. Um, yeah, kind of take me through, kind of like those last couple plays in game 3, you guys looked like you were struggling, the Phillies were starting to scale. So much dog was kind of getting picked by the Vi, but meanwhile in that top lane you have that Fiora. So like kind of like take me through like those comms and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Silva's cracked. I mean, that guy is absolutely mechanically gifted. He is
That's true.
like th- one of the best ADCs I've ever seen play this game. Um, but yeah, we knew he was scaling on a champ that hyper scales, and we're like, okay, we got to figure out a way to end this. Our inhibs open. Thankfully, Riven Player 3 was on a split pushing champ like Fiora. Got that again. Able to do what he does best. Just, all right, come try to stop me. I'm taking as much as I can. I think all of us collectively needed new pants. Watching him take the take the
We might
Nexus.
we might need our own new pairs. We did notice all 3 games that you committed very hard to sort of a split push build. Would you say that that's kind of what you look for in your team when you're looking into a strategy to just put your top laner onto someone who can to duke it out and split push the whole game?
No, I don't think that's like our team identity or anything. I think that we had to play into their weaknesses. And
Hmm.
we knew that their bot lane was going to get ahead no matter how safe and well that Shrubby and I played. We're just quite simply outranked by a long shot. So we knew that we had an advantage in mid and top lane, and that we're going to play around those two, kind of carrying the game and split pushing and just kind of trying to prevent team fights. Which, I mean, golly, we threw the heck out of game one trying to team fight. So we learned from our mistakes. I still think just a terrible, terrible 2 games, but coming away with the win after that feels pretty good.
So yeah, I mean, your next opponent is the Roblins Goblins, the currently undefeated team. Do you have any words for them?
I mean, I think everything's been said already in like the memes chat to Rob. I don't think I want to repeat that on stream.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Do I want to look?
I don't.
Yeah, probably.
Oh. Okay. Well,
But no, I look forward to it. I've never been demolished by a challenger before, so I'm looking forward to that.
well, Butts, we appreciate you coming on and for an interview. And yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And thank you for casting.
No problem, bro.
Thank you
All
for
right.
having us.
Yeah, take
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight at Summit Esports Premier League. This was Savage Mongoose Dynasty overtaking the Krusty Trap in Game 3 What an exciting series. We hope you've all enjoyed us. Once again, I am Joan Glovely Clock, joined by Chris X-Ray White, and this is Summit Esports. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, or we have felt it all come crashing down from far above.